Okudelio, nyekelanio. Olisamalugo mkoyene menenua. Okudelio, nyekelanio. Chukuna malugo yobia diocha. Agaranya chogo kowe bili. Agaranya chogo kowe rienio. Owe chuku bezie chuku. Nuche chukwa busigi fegemeo. Nuche chukwa busia ifegemeo. Nifo solo ne asi alibazie. Oboye bebe agaranya muliba. Oboye wuru agaranya mebibe solia. Mano agaranya wa. Oboye afiozi enipa kwa. Agaranya chogo kowe bili. Agaranya chogo kowe rienio. Oboye chikubezio lisa. Kodili ma, kodili bemo. Kodili wakema, kodili wanima. Naino kwane we beluge beluo. Kodili ma, kodili bemo. Kodili nkemo, kodili heyo. Ibedwe me wanem, nikadie zibo heyo.
Hello. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you loud and clear.
All right. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to What is Your Opinion segment with Dr. Adanma, and Madam Luke is my co-moderator. Today we're going to be looking at a special, today's topic is going to be talking about the African setting. We're going to be talking about the firstborn burden. And we're not just going to be looking at it from the firstborn angle as a first child of the family in the African setting. We're going to be looking at it from an angle of, okay, if you are from a family of, for example, 4, and you happen to be the one that is financially stable among the 4 siblings, automatically is your responsibility to take care of your other 3 siblings. So we're going to look at it in different kind of ways. I'm going to have 2 parts to this. We're going to be talking about people in the African setting, and the second part is going to be about people in the diaspora, how some of us would do work ourselves to death to give our kids to the best when it comes to education, especially. So with that being said, today's topic is going to be about the firstborn burden in the African setting. So to our viewers, welcome. Thank you for joining us. I see all my sisters in the comment section. Thank you all for joining me. Real fam, I see you guys. Thank you all. I am giving each and every one of you a shout out. So with that being said, I'm going to go to Madam Luke so that she can tell us more about what this topic is all about. Madam Luke, over to you. Thank you so much.
Hello, my good people. How are you all doing? Thank you, Dr. Adanma Damages. Good to be here again for another nice, enlightening, educative, and informative and entertaining topic: the plight of the firstborn in the African diaspora setting. This is mainly a topic that is, I think, everybody can relate to. Why there is so much expectation from the firstborn of a family to carry the burden to take care of the family members that the parents are unable to take care of. Is this a fair deal? And if not, what are the recommendations? What can be done? How can we reset this clock? How can we make things right so that way there's a balance and the firstborn is so entitled firstborn in the family is not embodied to put their lives on hold because they have to step into the roles of the parents. If you're in that situation, how were you able to navigate it? I'm a firstborn, and would I say fortunately or unfortunately, the females came before the man. So is this gender related? If there's a female that's the firstborn, is it the same role that can be accorded to her that a firstborn male can take on? So how does this play out in your situation? I'm not going to say much about my circumstance, but I want to say that I'm the firstborn. I'm the first, and there are two girls before two boys. Actually, two girls before three boys, and it played out differently. So, how do you feel? What's your take on this? Let's have your opinion. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Madam Luke. I really appreciate you telling our viewers more about the topic. And like I say, please, if you're watching us, please click on the like button, share, subscribe. We'd like to hear from you. And if you want to share, come share your opinion. And that's one thing I like about the segment. You don't have to turn on your camera. You just come in, introduce yourself. You don't have to give us too much detail. Just, share your story with us because we are here to learn from one another and unlearn a lot of things as well. So I'm going to go to my panelists. I see Honey Babe. I'm going to have her introduce herself. Honey Babe, welcome to the show. Thank you for joining us all the way from London, UK. Yes, Honey Babe, can you unmute and say hello to our viewers?
Hello, everybody. Hello, Sister Luke and Dr. Dan. I hope you're doing well. I think I came on a bit too early, but it's okay. It's an interesting topic. I mean, I don't know whether this is the right time for me to talk because I'm obviously going to be talking from my own perspective, which is
just introduce yourself, then I'll come to you for you to talk. Just introduce yourself.
So yeah, my name is Honey Babe, aka accountability prefect. Based in the UK, in Essex, actually, just outside London. So not quite London, but in Essex, the surrounding suburbs. So yeah, that's just me. Nice to meet everybody.
Thank you so much, Honey Babe. Femo is in the building. Femo, welcome to the segment. Could you please unmute and just introduce yourself?
Hi, my sister Adanma. Been a minute.
How you doing?
Good. How you doing? So yeah, I mean, just here to, as usual, contribute one's own opinion to matters which, in this case, might seem not to be important, but is actually vital, especially in this day and age as ever before. So yeah, I'm just here to be part of the discussion as usual.
Thank you so much, Femi. I really appreciate it. Misty. Oh my God, your sister is here. Misty, how are you doing?
I'm doing great. How are you doing, Dr. A? I'm so grateful to be here. How, Honey Babe? How are you? Hi, Miss Luke and Femi. I'm glad to be with you here. I am Misty, and I am in North America. That's all. I can
Thank you
say.
so much, Mr. Obey. You're joining us early today. Thank you, sir. I really appreciate it. Could you please introduce yourself, sir?
Yeah, Dr. Adanma, when you are off, you have all the time to do the deal. My name is Osazuwa Brown Eguavon, aka Obe. Live from New York. Everything good.
All right. Thank you,
The
sir.
perspective is good to discuss. I would love to be in the house. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Mr. Revolution. Oh my God, my brother from Europe. Thank you, sir, for always contributing. Could you please introduce yourself and so I can know you're there before we go straight to the topic?
Yeah, good evening to everybody. And this revolution from Stockholm, Sweden. We are trying to run a revolution in that country to change both the culture and the system of that country, including the burden to a first child or whatever. It's a lot of burden. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. All right, with that being said, let me play our first video so that we can get right to it. All right, let me share the screen.
Dr. A, are you there?
I think she's still trying to sort out the screen.
Oh, maybe it takes a bit of time. Right, okay.
How can they give birth to 8 children? They did not train anyone. And they're expecting you as the first daughter to train them. Are they okay? Parents in the house, be very careful. That I'm a first child does not mean I should be the one, especially when they're still alive, healthy and hearty to do something. My father said he wants to renovate his house. Do you have job? This is the reason why many youths are under pressure. Because our parents want to reap when it's not time for them to start reaping. Why are you prostituting? My father does not have. My father is suffering in the village. Other people in the village, are they better than them? Go and look at some lazy fathers. They are the ones that don't care about the joy of their children in marriage. He has money, go where? He will take care of you. Because you as a father, you failed. There are some people in marriages that cry, mommy, I'm dying here. Mommy said, don't come out, oh. Don't come out, oh. Stay there. He's giving us money every month. My Oga Buchione, my one and only in-law, and they will give your mother 200,000. But you are dying. They don't want to speak up and call your husband to order so that he will stop giving them money. If they talk now, hey, he will not give us again. Parents in the house, be very careful. From the onset, let your children's husband or their wife know who you are. That you can't be bought by material things. The joy of my child is better than silver and gold. Your siblings are not your full responsibility. You only help if you have. If you don't have, relax. There is an age my parents will reach and okay, it's now time for all of us to start taking care of them. You are the first daughter. You are training the 6 siblings inside school. From which salary? They are indirectly pushing you into prostitution. You should reject it. How can they give birth to 8 children? They did not train anyone. And they're expecting you as the first daughter to train them. Are they okay? Parents in the house, be very careful. That I'm a first child does not mean I should be the one, especially when they're still alive, healthy and hearty to do something. My father said he wants to renovate his house. Do you have job? This is the reason why many youths are under pressure. Because our parents want to reap when it's not time for them to start reaping. Why are you prostituting? My father does not have. My father is suffering in the village. Other people in the village, are they better than them? Go and look at some lazy fathers. They are the ones that don't care about the joy of their children in marriage. He has money, go where? He will take care of you. Because you as a father, you failed. There are some people in marriages that cry, mommy, I'm dying here. Mommy said, don't come out, oh. Don't come out, oh. Stay there. He's giving us money every month. My Oga Buchione, my one and only in-law, and they will give your mother 200,000. But you are dying. They don't want to speak up and told your husband to order so that he won't stop giving them money. If they talk now, hey, he will not give us again. Parents in the house, be very careful. From the onset, let your children's husband or their wife know who you are. That you can't be bought by.
Okay. I think we all get it. We can see where this is coming from, and we all saw the video, right? Did you?
Yes, it played several times actually.
All right. So, Madam Luke, I'm going to come to you last. Let me start with Honey Babe. Honey Babe, what is your opinion on the video? Forefathers, welcome to the show.
Thank you very much. Call me a bit of a surprise that I'm starting first, but that's fine. That's fine. Obviously,
before you start, I want to say something. Before you start. To our viewers that are listening and they are going to be on the comment section, please be respectful in the comment section. The comment section is being monitored. Yes, I have the right to put you on a ban, and I will. I won't hesitate to do that. You have to be respectful. We agree to disagree on this platform respectfully. If you don't like what we're saying, please feel free to come in and share your opinion with us. And once that is being said, I'm going to have a timer for each and every one of us. So it's going to be 5 minutes. And once your 5 minutes is up, you have to stop. And once a panelist is speaking, you cannot interrupt. Wait for them to finish, then you can push back. Then we can have that argument. Honey Babe, go ahead to you. Your 5 minutes starts now. Go ahead.
Thank you very much for all those conditions. Hopefully it will be a very nice show. What I will say is that obviously I'm coming from a different perspective. And for me personally, living in diaspora, being born and brought up in the UK, even though I'm the firstborn, I've never really had that pressure. In the sense, yes, I have the responsibility as the eldest child, but all my siblings and all my immediate family are in the UK. So I don't really have that. I don't really have that pressure. But one thing I will say is that personally, I think when it comes to children, I think there has to be a conversation that has to be said that you need to plan for your children. Now, if you want to have 8 children, be very much aware that you're going to have to, it is your responsibility as a parent to cater for those children, every single one of them. It's not for you to have the first child and then have this pressure on the first child to now train and look after the rest of the siblings. It's not fair on her. I think the ultimate responsibility is on the parents. If you choose to have a football team, then you have to take responsibility for for all the children that you have. I think very much in diaspora, there is this thing where you have to plan for your children. If you have 2 children or 3 children, know at the back of your head that you have to take responsibility for those 3 children if you choose to. I think it's very dangerous to have children and not think about the future and think that, okay, if I have the eldest child, it is their responsibility to cater for the 7. It's not fair. You're having children that should be in school, should be focusing on enjoying their youth. And at the same time, if you're still on this earth, I believe that it's the ultimate responsibility as you as the parent, if you're still living and you're still able-bodied, to cater and to take responsibility for the children that you have. I know that it's going to be controversial because people will say, oh, she's saying that because she's not based in Nigeria. But I just think that it's critical thinking and just, I don't know how it makes sense to think about, okay, what can I cope with? If I can only cope with 1 child, I'm only going to have 1 child. If I can cope with 3 or 4 children, then best believe I have to cater for those children, every single one of them. I think that's all I have to say at the moment. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Honey Babe. I'm going to go to Femi. Femi, could you please unmute? What's your opinion on this video? Femi, are you there?
Oh, yes, I am here. Okay. So I'll take it from where my sister just spoke, just nicely elucidated. So coming from the angle of the fact that, like a lot of us, I initially grew up in Nigeria, two different sections of Nigeria, matter of fact, but still similar situations in a lot of way. And then trying to like align it with the video we saw. I mean, I'll use the case of this ethnic group in Ghana, and that's not to say that that's the only place where you see situations like this. It's even a lot more burdensome when the individual is not just a firstborn, but also the daughter, because I don't know, some of us may be aware that we still have what's referred to as matrilineal societies, just like you have majority patriarchal societies in Africa, where the lineage actually is looked at from the angle of the female. Yes, whilst I'm not firstborn, I'm an only son, right? But looking at my elder sister and just piggybacking to when we were growing up, I'm not. Maybe it's gonna come across as selfish. I not even making this up. There are times I was always thankful that I was not the first, because I could just from, and that's not to say that my our parents were necessarily harsher when it came to, I mean, we're extremely harsh. But you know, when it came to her, it was almost like she was supposed to be the template, which of course a lot of those of us that are firstborns here would be able to relate to this, because you know, rightfully or wrongfully so, and maybe consciously or subconsciously, African parents with the same, maybe things are changing. I'm not too sure, but African parents seem to have been programmed in such a way to have these high expectations that if that firstborn is kind of like toes a certain path, then the younger ones would most likely toe the same path, you know. And because of that, the burden even extends to the fact that even that firstborn, male or female, and I believe the females shade it when it comes to this in terms of the extent of the way the burden goes. They carry this extra toga of not wanting to disappoint, whatever that means, the parents. And of course, there's situations where it becomes even doubly more extreme. Situations like when if the mother passes on too early, like at a younger age, it becomes even uh, more intense, if for lack of another word. So but I think the part where I that's a bit concerning, which already is, I don't want to beat it beyond what has already we've already seen from even the video. The part that really can be concerning is thinking that if that firstborn is not doesn't succeed economically, then is a failure. That's the part that can really be even psychologically uh, debilitating, if you will, you know. So I mean, it's still a thing up until today, as far as I know. But I don't know where we got the thoughts from that the firstborn has to be the all in all. But it's something that's obviously is very concerning, and that's why I think it was a topic that's pretty incisive for today.
Thank you so much, Femi. I really appreciate your input. Misty, what is your opinion on the video that was just played, ma'am?
Hi. So my thing is, I think Femi, you made a very, very, very important point, um, which I will speak to at some point. So I'm a girl, and obviously you can hear from my voice, and I'm a firstborn, and in my family, I'll speak to my a bit to my experience and probably relate to that video. I'm a firstborn, I'm a girl, and I'm a lawyer. My experience is that that video, first of all, I find it to be very triggering for many firstborns. Um, Firstborns usually are born leaders, not because they actually even wanted to be leaders, but you are you are forced to be one because there's so many expectations out of you. You are you are modeled to be that example in the family and for everybody. I grew up as a firstborn, and I was expected to excel in school, to show the best example to everybody. That expectation has never left my family or my clan. It's still what is expected. My experience, however, is that financially I didn't have that burden growing up. I got the best of everything. I got too much love from my parents, a lot of pampering. um Financially, they spent so much on me because before my siblings came in the picture. But even then, when my siblings came in the picture, I was still, I received a lot because I was a firstborn. I was supported a lot, but also the expectations were very high, that I have to set a standard for everybody. um I, in my capacity, I didn't really have to take care of my family early in my life, until at such a time when my parents became, um, senior, and then incapacitated because of medical issues. So I stepped in at that point in time. And I think at that point in time, I was just done with the university. I just started working. And I didn't want my parents to feel burdened with a lot of financial issues. I just wanted them to relax and take care of themselves. But even when my siblings were at a point in their lives where they were, okay, done with school and working, I just feel, I feel like as a firstborn, I have to meet certain obligations. Sadly, my mom passed on. But my mom passed on when I was, at least I was a big girl. But I have never really felt like, the pressure. I felt like there's an obligation on me, even when something is not said that I have to do it. I kind of find myself doing it and making decisions. And because now my dad is quite older and my mom is not here, I am looked at like the matriarch of the family. I'm consulted on everything, but also the way my parents brought us up as a girl. My family is a bit an African, because I am entrusted with a lot of the family inheritance and decisions to make. It's like my family cannot make certain very important decisions without consulting me, without having my input in place. So firstborns are tasked with, so whether it's intended or not, firstborns have so much to do for the family, and sometimes they forget about themselves, and they do so much for everybody that they forget to take care of themselves. It's a very thin line, if you don't have any form of discipline, for you to neglect yourself because you're taking care of everybody else and except yourself. So there are obviously those challenges that I think as a firstborn we need to be mindful of. And I don't know how we can get to have our siblings not only to be there and support us, and actually step in and help us when it's needed. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. You were right on time. So I'm going to go to Mr. Obe. Mr. Obe, can you please unmute, sir? What is your opinion on this video, sir?
Yeah, and, thank you, Dama, and members of the house. Narrowing it to the video, it just shows an aspect because she was on the female side,
You can
emphatically.
speak, sir, sorry. I'm sorry to say about it. You can speak both on both genders. It doesn't
Yeah,
have
I
to.
know, I know.
The whole topic is
Okay.
basically about bearing the
Yeah.
burden of the family.
Luckily for me, I'm a fourth born. I'm not the first child, and but I ended up having an experience based on the fact that my earlier marriage was the first daughter or a first child. So it actually fall back on me at the end of the day. I saw the experience. Basically, like in my family, the firstborn is always, there is this grace that follow them. There is this preparation. There is this, it's like you are prepared for a given task of the family because of the significance of the firstborn, especially when it becomes a male. My great grandfather did it the first, then we were back home in Africa, Nigeria. They always send the first son outside the country to read in the UK, then he's come back and the position is waiting for him, and he's okay and is able to pilot the family and control. Then my grandfather did it too. The firstborn will go out, read, come back and get a position and ended up successful. Then daddy did it too. So it narrowed down to that formula because everybody can go outside to read. But the firstborn was always prepared for that, and they've always had it as a task, and they've achieved it. But at the end of the day, that ability to coordinate the home, it passes on to them naturally because they prepare them both home and abroad to have an experience of how it works, basically. And be that where I came from, the Edos, there's the significance of the first son, the firstborn, the first child. They always prepare them for the family takeover at the end of the day. But me as an experienced man who was not in firstborn, I married the first daughter, a first child, that at the end of the day, exactly what happened in the video was playing out. There is this expectation from you. But sometimes it's not actually that the parents are weaker or they just want to mass produce. Circumstances happens. A family that want to mass produce, that marries a man that marries 2, 3, 4 wives, of course it's on his own now. Even if he had to do that, the first one knows that it's only his mother children that he will take care of. Because most of them end up in polygamy, at the end of the day having more children. That's when it becomes problematic for them. Like me, I tell them that they have shared the burden to each of the women angle in that regard. But as for me, the husband of my previous wife mother died, so the whole burden was on the mother who single-handedly trained them. There were 4 of them, and she was the eldest. So I married in. I didn't know what was happening. At the end of the day, you see that everything passes on to her. Everything they're calling her, everything is on her. Everything is on us, is on me. At the end of the day, the stress was much. I had to say, okay, I don't want this no more. I just want you go to school, you do this, you do that. Whatever you want, let me know. I settle everybody. At the end of the day, let everybody go and leave her alone to read and to face whatever her career and whatever she got to do. That was how it comes. The burden transferred automatically to you based on sometimes conditional, sometimes it's unforeseen circumstances, and sometimes selfish parents too who just want you to be like you are the first. You have to go whatever way you got to go, and you got to help the family out. At the end of the day, you see yourself with your conscience. You can't even say no to them because this looks like your blood, and it's like you naturally passes on to you because you see mommy is weak. Mommy has tried his best. Mommy has grown everybody alone. At the end of the day, you see yourself naturally, facing that pressure to assist her or to see that these kids also grow up to become responsible. So it naturally passes on to many of us or many that are out there without their input in the situation. But a selfish one this one that I will mass produce 8 children, 7 children who are single parent, man and a woman, of course you know that they're going to suffer it at the end of the day. So that experience was not funny. But at the end of the day, I think it had to do with the education. Because most of them, then they're not educated. They believe that if a woman takes in, you dare not take it out. It's like a taboo. You must give birth to that child. It's like a blessing to the family. You must not you remove a baby, or you must not say no to a baby, or you must not even wear protection. They just do it like that. But today, they now saw that it brought poverty, it brought pains, it brought a lot of hoodlums in the streets, and they couldn't even train as many of them that were out there. At the end of the day, the parents and everybody were regretting for mass producing. You see a man living in a 1-bedroom flat and he's having 4, 5 children. I mean, living in a two rooms self-contained, or living in a 2 rooms passage house, he's
You
having
have
6
50
children.
seconds
You know,
left.
it's just a lot. So I think the firstborn thing, education is coming in, and many people are trying to get informed and aware, and they are trying to say, "Mama, you're on your own. No, if whatever you got to do, you got to do whatever you can do." At the end of the day, my cross is my cross, and I carry it. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. Revolution, could you please unmute? What is your opinion on this video that I just played, and in regards to the firstborn bearing the burden of the family, sir?
Yeah,
or
thank you.
someone who is financially stable bearing the burden of the family?
Yeah, thank you so much for this opportunity to air my view. You see, I'm not the first son in my own case, but I'm not the first child, but I'm the first son. So it's almost the same thing.
You went mute. We can't hear you anymore.
Responsibility,
Okay.
because they believe that the lady the lady is going to get married and go away to form her own family with the husband. So my case was a very special case. I carried the burden till I couldn't anymore. You understand? And I don't think it's a
Revolution, you're breaking and you're saying something that really is interesting, but we can't hear you.
You can't hear me?
Yeah, you can hear you now. You're coming in and out.
Ah, okay, sorry.
Oh, yeah, go ahead. You can go ahead.
Okay, so what I was trying to say is that I'm not the first child, but I'm the first son. So it's the same. Because the way I come from, as far as you are the first son, we call it Yokbala, you are the one that takes care of everything. Because they believe that the girls will be married away to another family. You know what I mean? And in my own case, I carried a lot of burden till I gave up. And I don't think it's very wise. I know it's difficult to change this our African tradition, but putting a burden on one person has caused a lot of problem in Africa. I don't have so much to say about that because I don't think I can change anything. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much, Revolution. I'm going to come to Abby. Abby, could you please unmute? What is your opinion? I don't know if you saw this video.
Good morning, everybody. Yes, I do
Abby
have.
is here.
Yeah,
Yeah, hi.
She's
Abby.
here. She's here.
Good morning.
Hi, Abby.
Hi.
Misty, leave Abby alone.
Okay,
Why is
okay.
Please.
I'm
Misty?
sorry.
Why is Misty
I'm
laughing?
sorry. I'm sorry. It's okay. Go on.
I'm a first child and a first daughter, and personally, I think my story is very similar to Misty. I've not had any financial burden, and I've also been, I guess, in a sense, the not important child, but the child that has been carried along for the most part of my life. And my parents don't play about me, and even my siblings, everyone is aware. However, I think that what people don't understand is that also comes with a lot of expectations. I have expectations to not let my parents down at all. I can almost not make even the tiniest of mistakes. And even through uni, I've studied what my parents wanted me to study. I basically had to do everything that my parents want me to do. Sometimes those are the expectations that come with that sort of situation. And another thing I've started to experience very recently, to the point where it probably is not exactly healthy, is anxiety. So my mom passed 4 years ago, and that came with this very odd burden of making sure, in quotes, that it wouldn't happen again, as if that is my responsibility, right? I can't control someone passing, but that's the sort of burden that I've had, to the point where I live in the UK, to the point where, for instance, I live in London, my brother lives in Manchester, and my sister lives in Birmingham. Those are my younger siblings. They went to uni there and just haven't come back. My sister is 19 and she's still at uni in Birmingham. To the point where if I get a landline calling me from any of these cities, I start to have a panic attack, because I'm wondering, oh my God, I can't, there's that, should I say, loss of peace of mind that has come. Similar to Misty as well, every little thing is run by me. My brother wants to change his job. He's calling me, asking for my opinion. Sometimes I don't even have the answers, but you kind of have to act like you do. So, yes, it's not always financial. Sometimes it's very much an emotional burden. Like I said, mine has even gone to the point of me having serious anxiety problems. So it can go that far. Same thing with my dad. I feel the need to always be on time. I feel the need to always, make sure everybody is good. My sister is having a play. I'm showing up even when it's not that big of a deal, because it's almost like there's a burden to overcompensate. So yeah, it's not always a financial burden. Sometimes it's just emotional, it's mental. And I'm going to be very honest and say that it is very draining. So that's all I have to say for now.
Okay, thank you so much. Abby, Abby, are you
Yes.
done? Are you done speaking?
Yes, I'm done.
All right, thank you. Uncle Janaba, welcome to the show. Could you please unmute, sir? Did you watch the video and do you know what we're talking about, sir?
Good evening, Dr. Adanma.
Good
Yes, I
evening,
did.
sir.
Yes, I did.
All right, what's your opinion, sir? You have 5 minutes. Go ahead.
I think everyone has spoken to their own experience. In most cases, it's not all bad. It's a situation where you are not in control to become the first child or first son, as the case may be. You are prepared for it. It's just about a responsibility that comes with it. The only unfortunate thing sometimes when the family is not financially okay, then um, it cannot become a burden for the first child because they expect the child to train the rest or to help them, but you also they invest on them mostly. Prepare them for that task ahead. So, give and take is just like any other culture that have different expectations from their loved ones. But we can see the negative aspect and the positive aspect of it. But then it is what it is. Um, we all understand that. Because of our society at large does not function very well. Like where the children there's nothing like school loan. If one is sick, there's no good health care. So all those burden comes directly to those people that are there. And I don't want to detour from the topic. The burden sometimes is not just on the first one. Sometimes it also go to anyone that is doing better in the family. It can be shifted just like that to them or every other person that is not doing well. They expect the one that is doing well uh, to take responsibility of their other siblings and their families and all of that. So I don't think we have much uh, to do about it. But in these days and era, you train the children equally, and you have expectations that at least they do well in this part of the world where you and I live now. Our children are not conditioned, even though there's expectation from them as a first child to be a role model to the rest, not only in finances, even in other supports to live up to whatever is the value they extract the most in their own culture or way of life. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. I appreciate your opinion. Forefather, what is your opinion on this topic? Welcome to
Um,
the show.
yeah, greetings, Adama. Thank you for having me. Greetings to all the panelists,
Mhm.
to the chat. Greetings to all of you and the viewers. Personally, I think that lady sounded a little bit toxic herself in the video where she was busy focusing on the men for some reason. Because I think it was a wrong-headed argument she was making, and I think there is a bit of our culture that we keep doing these things and thinking we are going to get a better result. First of all,
Doing what? Wait,
generally,
doing what? Doing what? Doing what? You
that
started. You
being
started
hold
now. You
on
started
now,
with this your narrative. What are
hold
we
on,
doing, please?
because what she's doing is trying to call out, in other words, trying to kind of give childbearing a bad name for one, and in other words, the excuse is that, oh, because you can't take care of them. everything is relative. And let's put it this way. What she is saying about firstborns, let me try to focus on that. Historically, firstborns generally do better than the others. Historically, one, wealth is passed on to them. Two, they tend to get access to earlier education. If life, sometimes just by being born in a certain month, can give you advantage, imagine if you're the first. So, and generally, when you have a little bit of advantage, people tend to put more responsibility on you. Have you noticed that some of the most capable people, whether they are first or not, they tend to gain more responsibility? It's just the nature of life. People do that because when you are more capable, people feel like they can trust your capabilities more and you can handle the pressure. The owner of this channel, that Dr. Damages himself, is the first son of first sons. And the idea is that even his parents were first sons. I think going back almost 4 generations. The point is that it doesn't necessarily mean just because you are first, the burdens are a cause. Some people that are born in the middle, they say nobody cares about it. The last one seems to think that they have been spoiled. It means that the last born don't tend to do too well in life. And there is a reason why the firstborns do best, because one, they transfer wealth to them. Historically, they've been transferring wealth to the firstborns, because they carry the family name at first. So what she's calling out in that video, it's calling out a tradition that has been going on down the ages, that has been used to preserve family lineages. It's one thing to say, okay, you can argue that, okay, maybe the pressure shouldn't be too much on the firstborn. Then maybe you should also take their privilege away in terms of passing resources to them when the parent dies. Passing resources, who is the last born? Stop it. So you don't pass resources on to them when the parents die. They have advantages and they have disadvantages. And the idea that when they turn all these things to childbearing, tongue lashing and saying, oh, you raise children and you don't take care of them, and using men as an example, historically, it's actually the women that pressure the children more, that I've seen anyway. I don't know how other people behave. The men generally don't, they just mind their business. Have you noticed that elderly men, they don't tend to bother with things anymore? They're often miserable. And they just mind their business, going on, mind their business. It's the women that worry about all those sort of things more. About, oh, you are not doing this for the family, you're not doing that for the family. The men don't care about these sort of things. And they don't want to be bothering. Can you imagine a grown father telling his daughter, oh, what have you done for me? And all the rest. No. Our men may be anything. They do have a bit of shame and dignity from that point of view of begging their daughter for this is survival, or pressuring them to do what they cannot do. So I don't subscribe to that narrative. I don't subscribe to the narrative of trying to make this a masculine thing, or a child having too much children kind of idea. Because an earlier speaker said that, oh, people have children, they cannot take care of them. Even if you have one child, do you think that's going to change our perspective in Africa? It's not. Because the reason why we are where we are has nothing to do with children. The Indians have 12 times more children than Africans. What has that stopped them from progressing? They are going to the moon. We are not. And we should be asking ourselves, maybe because we didn't have enough, that's why we are not even there. So China has 1.5 billion, 1.4 something billion people. Has that stopped them from being what they are today? We should not be conflating things here. If you want to criticize it, okay, fine. Maybe the lady herself in the video doesn't have access to certain information. She's just saying what she thinks is right. I believe she thinks what she's saying is right, but it's not right, because she's criticizing something that has been happening down the ages, and the people she's fighting for, they have privilege. They have privilege. Let's go and check it. Historically, they have privilege. So I will leave it there.
Thank you so much.
Privilege does the eldest daughter has? I beg. Which privilege does the eldest daughter has?
Can I push back, please? Because I think
yes, Honey Babe. Hold on, Honey Babe. Who was that asked which privilege does the elder doctor have?
It's obey. I'm asking the forefathers.
Forefather, please, can you answer that?
I'm talking about the first sons, but the first daughter, the privilege, if she is the first child, generally first children tend to get I don't, to be fair, this one is
Zero.
tricky because it is a hold on.
She
calm
gets
down.
zero.
This one is a lady, so I'm
Go
not
on.
very clear how it affects in the African culture.
No, he
But
asked you a
generally,
simple question.
He asked you a question. You
As
answered.
a female daughter who is the firstborn, what privilege does she have? That's the question he asked. Do you know about that? You say yes or no.
It does not
I
exist.
think the privilege she has is the respect
Go
of
on.
the younger ones. No,
What
no,
that
no,
relative respect to do, sir?
we actually defer to elders when they are
Mhm.
deciding this is stuff. So from that point of view, I can look into it to see what
Please do.
happens with the girls.
Okay,
In fact,
thank
if
you.
you are a
Can
firstborn
I
girl
can
and
I
you are not successful, nobody will respect you. Believe you
Thank
me.
you.
Exactly.
sorry, can I
Thank
Exactly.
just
you.
can I
Thank you
just
so much.
Exactly. She
yes,
only gets rapper. That's all.
yes. So can I just interject this?
Go ahead, honey babe, you can
In
interject.
terms of what you said, personally for me, we're not talking about India. We're talking about African households, which is the reason why I said what I said. And I stand by what I said because personally for me, if you don't have the material finances to look after your children, I don't understand why you're having children that you can't look after. So it's relative to African households. I'm not talking about India. I'm not talking about anything else. And also, in terms of this idea that if you're a firstborn, you have privilege, that is not true. I'm the eldest, and I can tell you for a fact that my younger siblings got more privileges than I did, even though I was the firstborn. So unless you're talking about your unique experience, I don't think that's universal. In terms of this idea that if you're not willing to look after the siblings, then you should be revoked your privilege. There's a lot of Caucasians in terms of inheritance. They will have wills and they will have generational wealth in which their children will now inherit when they are deleted. There is no expectation on a lot of Caucasian children that inherit their wealth to look after anybody, to look after their siblings. So I'm just a bit confused by what you're saying.
Thank you. We'll
Because
come back to we'll come
no,
back
let me
to
finish. I'm just confused by what he's saying because if you're saying about in order to gain inheritance, you should go back and you have to be the one that has to be pressured in financially, that's not the case because other cultures, they pass on their wealth and pass on inheritance and their children don't have that pressure.
Thank you.
You can look
Thank
at it
you.
from the sorry about that.
And then in terms of the tradition, I know that I don't
No,
know how
honey
many
babe,
years
we're going
ago.
to come back to that.
No, I'm
Hold
just
on.
pushing back with everything he said.
Okay,
I'm
hold
pushing
on.
back.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. We're going to push, but trust me, if you keep pushing back, I know this person, this forefather. I
That's
know
fine. I say
him.
what I say and then I move on. But I just want to say what I want to say because I'll forget it. I'll
Go
forget
ahead.
it.
Go ahead.
In
Finish
terms
up.
of tradition, we evolve as a community, as a society. The things that we did 1,000 or 500 years ago is not what we did today. There was a tradition, tell me if I'm wrong, where you used to delete twins. Do we do it now? No. So this assumption, because it's culture and tradition, that it's correct, I think that we need to have critical thinking because that's not necessarily the case. There are some traditions that we need to review. We're on a continuous journey to better ourselves as a community, and we shouldn't use the excuse that because it's tradition, we should keep doing it.
Well said, honey babe. Thank you. Okay, so forefather, land your
Yeah,
point, then I'll go to Uncle Bernard, then Madam Luke. Go
yeah.
ahead, land your point.
If the topic was about firstborns or firstborn daughters, then that would be a bit more nuanced.
No. Forefather, maybe you didn't listen to my monologue before we started. Today's topic is about being the first child of the family, both male or female, or being the child among your siblings. You are financially stable and you are the one who is supposed to bear the burden of taking care of your younger siblings because your parents are not financially stable enough to do it. That is what today's topic is. It doesn't have to do necessarily with just the first child. It can be, you can be the only son, you can be the fourth child, but among your sibling, you're the one who is financially stable, and you have to carry the burden of taking care of everyone, including your parents, as the one who is financially
Yeah,
stable?
that is very interesting. Anecdotally, from what I know, the two firstborns I know were they did better than all the other children. And studies have also shown that firstborns, whether girl or a boy, generally have some advantage based on studies. And like I said, the ones that I know, two women, they did better than their firstborns, and they did better than even the men in their family. So that is what I'm talking about here. So
Okay,
if you
thank
the
you.
men get more advantage, but the women also get advantage if they're firstborns.
Okay, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Uncle Benno, could you unmute yourself? What is your opinion on this topic, sir?
Yeah, thank you for having me, Dr. Adama. Happy birthday once again, my
Uncle
sister.
Pedro, Uncle Pedro.
Okay.
Ben, don't remind me of what happened.
So, this is a very good topic, but of course, you know me as the Minister of Culture and Tradition. I like to come from that angle. But before I quickly drop my submission, Dr. Adama, can you define what you mean by financially stable? Because as far as I'm concerned, no Africa is financially stable unless they are billionaire. So can you define it, please? Make I know where they
Whatever
come
your
from.
definition of financially stable is, go by your narrative of whatever. Because if I define what financially stable is to me, it may not mean the same thing to you. So go by whatever financially stable is for you.
Okay. If I have to say this, I think anybody who is making six figure as an African living abroad, you are not financially stable. You are just a little bit comfortable. So let me just say that first, and that is the angle I'm coming from. I see Sister Natu and my sister Meze, why they don't they drag my block course. Say me you
Uncle Ben,
pursue
hold
me
on.
for
Can
this
I say
studio.
something, please? We have how many people watching? Can you guys please click on the like button, please? Support what we are doing. I don't know why we come here. It's so hard for us to just click the like button. Please, can you just support? We're not asking you to give us money. Just click on the like button. We appreciate it. Thank you very much. Go ahead, Uncle Beno. Oh, Ben,
Thank
if you
you.
start this night, you know what
Um
yesterday was slash tonight. I'm ready for you. So just
ah,
keep on your tradition and don't take us to where we don't anticipate to go now. Just stay on the topic now.
ah, okay, I will give you one bottle of Hennessy so that at least you go calm down small first. All right. So make I speak in my VDM voice. All right, so one thing I can say is this. As Africans, I've listened to Honey Babe and a couple of the member of the panel, and everybody is kind of like, okay, as African parent, you need to have insurance, you need to have retirement, you need to have this, you need to have that. But we know deep down, except for our sisters who were born and raised abroad, we know that our parents don't do insurance or anything back home. So, having said that, that means that whether we like it or not, we are still somehow responsible for them. I went back to watch the video you played, and that woman sounds like a very, very angry woman, to be honest. That woman sounds very angry. I don't know, maybe she's a pastor or a prophetess. But even though I want to agree with what she's saying to some extent, but I think she's missing a whole lot of stuff together. Yes, we might say don't carry too much responsibility. Don't allow your family members, your parents to weigh you down. But at the same time, if you don't want to die young, if you don't want to die unexpectedly, oh, sorry, if you don't want to die unexpectedly, you still have to try as much as possible to help. What me, I more or less advise people is don't do more than yourself. Don't see it as I have to do it by fire by force. If you don't have the money, don't commit to that excess burden of I have to train all my brothers, I have to do everything, because I see a lot of people who don't even take care of their own immediate family. Their wife and children are actually suffering, and yet they are building houses in the village for their papa, build for their mama, build for in-law, and do all that. I don't support that, to be frank. If God bless you, if you are stable, me, when I talk of financial stability, I'm talking in terms of you are not depending on your 9 to 5. You have investment. You can literally be in your house 1 month doing nothing, and money is still flowing in. So when you get into that bracket, yes, you can go ahead and do if God permits. And at the same time, even if you want to help, you still have to be careful with it, because sometimes you are helping some people and they are using that money to do you wishy-wishy. Some of them are using that money to even fight yourself that you don't even know of. But I'm just saying this as a piece of advice. Me personally, I'm a last born. Like Sister Natu say, that's why Sister Natu say me una pursue me for here. But we know how it goes. It doesn't matter your position in the family. If God smile on you and your family member think that you are better off, all of them somehow they will circle back to you. I've made the mistake in the past myself. My first 4 years in America, all I did was, oh, this one is suffering. Let me help this one. Let me help that one. I was doing way too much than I can carry. I literally did that from year 1 to like year 3 to 4 in America. Before I can say Jack Robinson, I was in a lot of credit card debt. The debt was literally going to swallow me until one day I just have an epiphany. I've been always at the speaker. I just have this awakening that I go pie if I continue like this. Oh, carrying everybody burden. Every time I walk, I am not even stable. I'm going to school, driving Uber, doing everything possible. It was crazy. Until one day I just get up and feel like, what is wrong with me? If I buy now, all these people will live their life. And I'm like, hell no. So I started defining what really constitute helping family. And I'm being honest, you, my sister, you know me already. I don't sugarcoat anything. So I started defining what fall under the category of help. Where am I financially myself? What really requires my attention and what doesn't require my attention? So I started with illness. If anybody is sick to the point that they rush this person to hospital and they need help financially, then I will step in. Two, if somebody is having a severe financial problem that when that okay, oh, these people maybe they lost their house, no rent or something, okay, I can stand in. Then if anybody calls me and say, my pikin school fees, oh, this private school, I cancel it. This is not my responsibility. So the moment I started doing that, I realized that sometimes even 6 months, I'm not responsible for Jack because I always ask for evidence. I go call you video call. I go take my eyes see. I go send my PA to go and check. They don't even know if they come. I will send their address and say, go to this place. When you reach there, you want to see this person. Tell them say your guy send you come. When you reach there, tell me what you see. And then he started paying off. I don't send my PA to somebody before. We say the person they do party and he they cry for my dear the previous day. When my PA go reach there, they do party, do celebration. I tell them, I say thank you. So I don't want to waste your time. I'm just saying that we can't run away from helping our assemblies, our parents, and everybody. But we just have to be honest with ourselves. Where are you standing financially first? Is your children okay? Are they living good? Even if the money no plenty, are they wearing good clothes? Are they eating fine? How about your wife? Is she okay? What about you yourself? So if you see that, okay, I'm stable, then look at your finances. What we are making right now, how much can you afford to give? If it is $100 that you can spare in a month, don't go beyond that. Don't worry, they will call you names. They will say everything, but at the end of the day, remember, if you buy, they will continue with their life. That's my submission, Dr. Adama. Thank you.
Dr. A, can I make a pushback, please?
Yes, go
What
ahead.
do you want push?
Uh-uh. Ben.
Let him push. Oh,
So I feel like Uncle Beno said he's the last born in the family. If you listen to his narrative, you can clearly hear that he's speaking from a point of a last born, that one child who is, they're usually the spoilt ones. If you're a firstborn, because this is what he said, you are he said he's the last born, and he tasked himself with taking care of responsibilities. For starters, when you are firstborn, you kind of have no choice. It's like it's an obligation. It feels like it's an obligation upon you to take care of everybody. You don't have a choice over that. You are not going to sit around, wait until your family is doing okay, you're financially stable, your wife or your husband is happy, they are all dressed and they're happy. Then you begin taking care of your siblings. If you're firstborn, and this is maybe something firstborns have to deal with. You feel like your siblings have to be taken care of in school, in whatever circumstances they're going through. Your parents medically, you're taking care. You nobody even has to tell you to take care of that. It's like it's instilled in you. You have to do those things, so you don't have a choice. You know um like Uncle Beno said, that when he got to the US the first 4 years, he decided to do that. Firstborns do not have a choice. I mean, you can opt out, but there are expectations that are required of you. You're supposed to do certain things. So you cannot just sit back and say until my um, nuclear family are okay, then I can start extending a hand to let my sister or my brothers go to school. It doesn't work like that. I feel like your parents invest so much into you as a firstborn, and so now you have an obligation to do the same to your siblings. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Misty. Uche, I will welcome to the show. Could you please unmute? Do you know what we're talking about and what's your opinion? Uche, are you there?
Madam Adanma, I don't know how you can keep bringing more people into the panel when I haven't given my submission.
Oh my, you know what, Madam Luke, go ahead, speak. Go ahead, speak. Sorry, hi, Jesus. Go ahead, speak,
Yeah,
ma'am.
yeah.
Go ahead.
All right. Good evening, everybody. Good to see everybody again. You are wonderful as always. You give me joy to see that our panel is full right at 5 minutes after the show starts. This is wonderful, my people. Keep it up. Good evening to the commentators, panelists, viewers at large. It's good to be here. This is a very great topic, and everybody has spoken at large. And I want to bring everybody to where we all started with this culture. I grew up in the 60s, 70s, 80s. I never heard of parents not taking care of the kids. My grandfather had 30 children, right? And there was nothing like a firstborn taking care of the whole family. Everybody held their own. So, what am I trying to say? Even up to my third generation, we never had children who took care of the parents' responsibilities. So, what am I trying to say? It is the economic rascality and the lack of planning of the federal government and the whole economic situation in Nigeria that has brought this mess. Even the poorest family in the villages when I grew up didn't have the first sons or first kids taking care of responsibilities or taking care of their younger ones. It never happened. Even in primary school, everybody was taken care of. Secondary school, everybody was taken care of. University, then it started. That during that Abacha era, that's all when all those things started. So what am I trying to say? It never used to be this way. It never used to be this way. I mean, most first sons were abroad now. The parents were paying. Government was paying. We didn't suffer like this. But rather than people to go with the times, knowing that things are difficult, they forget to employ that foresight must you give birth to 8 children? You know what the economic situation is. Why are you giving birth to children that you cannot take care of? Why? Even China put a rule when they saw how things were going. You cannot have more than a certain number of children.
One child.
Thank you. One child. They went with the system, knowing what it was costing in the economy. And when it reversed, what did they say? They went back again on their words. We need more children. But due to lack of financial planning and just psychological, what will I say, disarray of the psyche of our people, that is why we find ourselves where we are. Now, a man that cannot take care of 10 children, why are you having 10 children? Because they're lazy. They're lazy even in bed. They can pull out when they're supposed to pull out. And then they expect the children to take care of the responsibilities that the parents could not
pull out. Okay.
Yeah, they can pull out. They're too lazy.
Pull out for where?
After drink, pull out from the well. You know, pull out from the honey
Impossible.
pot.
They understand. They understand.
Yeah, you need to have some form of birth control. If you cannot go to the doctor, then do the natural method, the way you don't have to, spread your seed all over the place. And not only that, even the people that are the poorest church rats will even engage in polygamy. Who are you expecting to take care of all these children? So I think it's partly to blame of the society, and also the people involved who don't know how to, use their tongue to count their teeth in their mouth. So having said that, are we going to avoid this? The burden is always going to be there, and it's not necessarily on the firstborns, because right now even the firstborns can't even hold their own. So it now falls on the responsibility of whoever is most capable in the family. It might not necessarily have to be the firstborn. Now, having escaped that, it will always be there. It will always be there. Firstborn, secondborn, lastborn, you would have to always step up, because you cannot see your parents suffer. We have too much emotional ties in Nigeria that you will not see your parents suffer. You will see your siblings suffer, and you want to help them. Some of them are just like selfish. They just bone you and say, you know what, every man for himself. We've seen that too. And that's why you have people go do kidnapping, people do all kinds of things. Now, let me flip it back. Even we that we are taking care of, what burden do we face now? We're facing the burden of who's going to take care of our parents. That is the burden. We who have been taken care of very, very well, we're not facing the burden who's going to take care of our parents. Now, my brothers cannot take care of my parents. It always falls down to the girls. And I always tell you, if you don't have a girl child, I'm sorry for you. I'm really sorry for you, because only a girl child can take in the parents, take care of them, take their responsibility. A male child cannot, especially with his wife. So you see, this burden of the first child is not necessarily when you have to take care of your siblings. You have to take care of your own your own parents who have taken care of you. On that note, the firstborn, secondborn, thirdborn is always going to be there because of our emotional ties. So you just have to find out how you can navigate that and say, you know what, I just need to learn how to set boundaries. You do what you can, and in all honesty, you have to work as a team. There is nothing like a firstborn. You have to enlist the help of your siblings in whatever capacity they can do, and you all have to work together so the burden is not too much on one person. And finally, I must say, self-care is first. If you don't take care of yourself first, you can never take care of anybody else. That burden is going to be a burden, but you have to moderate it, and you have to use common sense to do that. To navigate that circumstance. Thank you.
Are you sure you're finished? You're forgetting something, though. Are you sure you're finished speaking, madam?
No, I'm not finished speaking. Now, the time of the moment. Dr. Adanma's birthday, we have to give her a shout out. I'm sorry. We have to give her a shout out today. Dr. Adanma's birthday. So we have to give her a happy birthday.
Yesterday, so.
Yes, no, we're celebrating it today. We're not doing it yesterday. We're celebrating it today. So on go, happy birthday to Adanma. Can we sing a happy birthday song, people?
Yes, we can.
Yes, sorry, thank you for reminding me. Happy birthday to you. Where's Uncle KJ?
Uncle Ben, I can't hear your voice.
to you.
Cha cha cha.
Happy
Ben, I'm not
birthday,
hearing
dear
your voice, so
Adama.
Cha
happy
cha cha.
Birthday
Happy
to
birthday
you.
to
We wish you
you.
many happy
Two
returns,
returns,
long life,
life, and
and
prosperity, isn't it?
prosperity. Hip, hip, hip.
Hooray!
Hooray!
Hip, hip. Hip,
Hooray!
hip, hip.
Hooray!
We love you, Dr. Adama. Thank you for being here. Many more, many more, many more, many
Many
more.
more
Thank
years.
you.
Thank God for
thank
your
you so
life.
much.
Please, if I can just
Thank you.
say
This is a
one
terrible
quick
band.
word. If I can say one
Is
quick
it
word
bad?
for Dr. Adama, please,
Yes.
Dr. Adama, we love you. God bless you for your new age. Let me remind you, you are growing older. Turn down your bass, boss.
Uncle Beno, stop
Turn
it.
down
Stop.
Uncle
your
Ben,
Uncle
mute
Beno,
him.
But
stop.
I
I'm
know
gonna
you were
mute
going there.
you.
You think I didn't know where you were
Mute
going
him,
there?
Joe. Nonsense. Mute him.
Uncle Beno is always depressing. Very depressing.
I know. He does it on purpose.
It's a
Thank you
cultural.
so
It's a
much.
it's a cultural. What will I say? Cultural defect. Let's put it this way.
Happy birthday, Dr. A.
Thank you so much.
Happy
I really
birthday, Dr.
appreciate
Dana.
you guys. Thank you so much. You guys are the best. I'm not in
Yeah.
celebrating mood. You guys know.
Happy birthday,
Yeah.
Dr. Dama.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. Happy birthday, Adama. If I may respond to Madam Luke before she gets away with what she just said.
If you may what? Is that how you just say happy birthday? Say it properly, I beg.
Happy birthday. Yeah, haven't you had enough from the panelists?
No, you're not saying it for say it the way you should say it. You're in my
Happy
show, so say
birthday,
it.
Dr. Adama.
Mm.
He's like moving on. Dr. A, we are done. Moving on, let's get back on the serious topic.
All right, go ahead. What's your pushback? What's your pushback? Go ahead. To Niger. What is your
Yeah.
pushback?
Before China had this one child policy, because she seems to make this issue of about childbearing often. They were about 1 billion in population already, and compare that to Nigeria, not even close, or many African countries. And in terms of the way, you mean well by saying share burden and all the rest, but life doesn't work out like that. Some people have more capabilities than others just because they were born at a certain time, and the parents are younger when they have their first child, and the first child was present when the younger ones came along. So dynamics has a role to play in how these things unfold. You might wish it all you want, and if you try to change it, you might even get a worse outcome because you are trying to make everybody. It's like, how women like to select men that are more successful. But if women want to be generous and say, let's marry everybody, you marry the loser men and all the rest of it, and there will be consequences down the line. So you might mean well, but the outcome is not going to be any better. So that's why I thought, sometimes it's good we understand these things a bit more deeply.
Sorry, can I push back?
Please, can I push back? Honey babe, you
No,
have pushed back
no,
like
but
10
I
times
spoke.
Before
I
already.
said
anyone
it
push
before
back,
you.
before anyone push back, please hold on. Uche is here. I just want to make sure Uche is here, or he's not here. Uche, can you hear us? Could you please unmute? Uche.
Hello.
I don't think Uche is here. So who wants to do a pushback
I
to
want
what?
to do first.
I want
I
to
asked
push
first.
back.
No, I asked first. You should have done it
You,
before me.
you
It's in
have pushed back
order.
like 4 times. We
My
need
own
to
now
push
push
back.
front. I want to push front.
No, no, but the thing is, if I ask to push
All right, go ahead,
back, you
honey babe.
can't.
Go
Push
ahead,
back. Then
honey
It's in
we
babe.
have
order.
Ben
Honey babe,
coming.
go ahead.
Okay. I think I come back to what Sister Look said, and I really loved what you said. There has to be communication. I think the person forefathers keeps talking about, you seem to equate being a firstborn with having privilege. That's not all the case, and we talk about not generalization, not being general. I've seen families where the lastborn is more successful than the firstborn. I know that that's not in every situation, but you're assuming that every case is the same. In terms of what Sister Luke said, it's a case of having conversations. For instance, there could be a dynamic where you have 4 kids
And the first one could be struggling. I know you seem to believe that that's not the case, but there are cases like that. And then you could have the bottom two where they're more successful. You have a conversation with the family that, listen, us two are doing quite well. Let's help out. And in some cases, it could even be the younger sibling that's helping the firstborn. I've heard cases of that. So what I'm trying to say, there has to be communication in terms of how the dynamics are in a family. Don't just assume that the firstborn has a privilege. I've mentioned that my parents brought me up very strictly, and I know that because I was the firstborn, my younger siblings had more of a privilege than I did. I bought my first house and my parents refused to contribute to the deposit. They bought my sister her own flat, my younger brother their own flat. I was a bit upset, but I'm glad that I struggled because it made me stronger. But what I'm trying to say is that my younger siblings got a lot more privilege than me, the so-called firstborn. So, and also in terms of what Sister Lukin said of the whole retiring and everything, I think there has to be conversations to be had. Do they have investments? Talk about power of attorney. Talk about how are you going to navigate when your parents are going to get older? Are you going to have a power of attorney? Are you going to have a discussion about, do I need to renovate my house? So there's a granny annex to make sure that they live in my house, or are you going to put them in a care home? These are conversations that need to be said now. And it's all about communications and having plans in place so that you don't get to a stage where we have this thing of, the older sibling has to help out. Have these conversations now. I don't know if I'm making any sense.
Very important.
It
Yes.
made perfect
Thank you
sense.
so much.
I
Thank
agree
you.
with what
Dr.
she
Adama,
said.
I just give
No,
an
15
example of
seconds,
what
15
happened to me.
seconds before I step out. See, I agree with what she said. The reason why the two ladies I know did very well, she described practically the same experiences. Sometimes when you have negative experiences, feeling like you are not being treated fairly, it drives you to succeed even better than the others. So that could also account for it. Thank you.
Thank you so much,
Dr. Adama,
Tanaja.
I
Okay,
just paint a
you can go
scenario.
ahead, sir. Yes, you can go ahead, sir.
Myself?
Yes, you can go ahead,
Yes,
sir.
okay. In my own scenario, the person that was next to me in my father's house, I'm 14 years older than the person. 14 years. Then I have four of them under. You see, at that point, there's already a break in between old man's age and his firstborn. So firstborn was actually abroad, taking care of everybody. So he came home, brought a business back home, a container and all that, and the whole thing went south. So he went back, distorted and disorganized, and off his phone. That was the end of hearing from him for 10 years. At that point, I was able to reach out to him and say, what's up? What's happening? And all that. He now told me that, man, look at what happened. And he begged me to help take care of old man and other things that I got to do according to my own capacity, because I was the next capable person in the house. You see, event happens, things happens around homes. So at that point, I took it up and I was sorting out everybody. I had to travel from US to Europe to see him, to assess him and see that he's not depressed or something, to encourage him and to make sure I lift him up so that he will understand. He's almost 7 years ahead of me. He's a big old man, you know. But at the end of the day, I was able to carry on the work. Conversation matters a lot in this thing. If he just ran away, he doesn't want to do because everybody was trying to, depress him and he gave up and all that, that can even make you fall down. But as siblings, you must communicate. You must believe that the youngest person can be the breadwinner. It doesn't really matter, but the blessing can come from anywhere. And at the end of the day, thank God I was there to cover up. If not, everybody would have just dropped down. But thank God that's how it works. So it doesn't work the same way for everybody. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Uncle Beno, what is your pushback? Then I'll go to Chem. Uncle Beno.
Okay. Thank you, Dr. Adama. I thought you forgotten me. Yes, I want to push back on what Madam Luke said. But first, I just wanted to ask, is this content, the audience for this content, is this for Americans in abroad or Americans at home or both?
General.
Because there is a reason I'm asking. The situation that Nigerians or Africans at home found themselves is not the same with those of us in the diaspora. That's why I want to say that. And on that note, I just wanted to push back on when Madam Luke said those men, they should learn to withdraw. Madam Luke, do you know the psychological stress that comes with a man being at a point
What does that
where
have to do
he's
with what, bro?
supposed to
Brent,
go
are you
into?
okay?
No.
Hey.
It might sound like a joke, but it's a serious matter. It's a serious matter. So, Madam Luke, you are saying a man who has worked so hard to get to where he found himself and who is going so good. The acceleration was perfect. When it was time to
Ben, this
achieve his goal,
vacation is not
he has
helping you
called
because
me.
you are
Dr.
taking this
Adama,
conversation
wait.
to somewhere else.
Dr. Adama, wait. When a man get to that point where he want to kind of pass out, the main thing you are saying withdraw. It doesn't apply in Africa. That is a mistake. I will not withdraw. I don't think any of my
Yay.
brother here remember to withdraw. Let's look for
Yay.
another solution. That is my pushback. Thank you.
I beg. I have to take this. I'm sorry. I have to take this.
Uncle Ben.
Go ahead,
Jesus.
You see, this is the reason why we found ourselves where we are. We lack discipline. Can you imagine what Mr. Beno is just saying?
Yes,
So, in the whole grand scheme of things that we discussed here, your reaching your pinnacle is the greatest is the greatest benefit to what this quagmire that we are finding ourselves.
Maybe it causes migraine headache. You don't know.
It causes migraine headache. Okay, migraine headache has come now. So we are dealing with a bigger migraine headache with all these children here that we cannot take care of because you failed to just, take a step back because you have worked so hard and you are going to. So why you not go put you don't get pillow where you don't get pillow for side here?
Why don't you wear a protection and still calm? That's good. That's better.
No.
Are we allowed to?
Let me just tell you that one now. Nigerian men are allergic to condoms, so don't even go there.
Really?
Hey,
And that's why there's
yeah. See, if a Nigerian man use a condom for 1 week, the next week he's not going to use it. So don't deceive yourself. Where? I'm not even going to sleep there.
Yeah, but sister, look, all the more reason for what you said. Family planning.
That's what I'm telling you, that they should pull out. I gave them the simplest way to family planning.
That one doesn't necessarily work.
But I disagree with you guys. Everything you guys are saying, I disagree because the woman is the one
push
that
back.
My pushback is this. My pushback is this. Why I say I disagree? The woman is the one. Listen, as a woman, you're the one that does the carrying.
I agree.
You know, it's so funny when women say, "Oh, my husband likes kids. He wants all these kids," and you're married to someone who is not hands-on. Okay, you're not hands-on. You want to lay down. Every time he lay down with you, he shoots in something. No problem. All I'm saying, there's something called IUD. There's something called shots. There's something called there's many ways as a woman you can use to close and make sure that sperm doesn't.
Please, Dr. Adanma, please. We're talking about an economically strapped. How many doctors will give you IUD in Nigeria? Do you know how much it is?
How much is it, sis?
Go and price them. Hey, common birth control, meaning pills they can't even afford. It's IUD.
Contraception in the UK is free.
We're talking of Nigeria. Contraception in Nigeria is not free.
It's free in the UK, but it's not in Nigeria.
That's what I'm saying.
However, in more recent,
when you keep thinking of the UK and US, we are talking about Nigeria. Here.
I know this. It's okay.
In most recent times,
are we trying to say that as Africans we are focused on people back home now? Are we trying to say that there is no way a woman
that's what they're saying
herself from getting pregnant?
Yes, that's what they're saying.
Can I say something?
The only way, listen, let me just say that. Shut up. The only way you can do is to push the man out when he started to if he started making certain sounds.
Madam,
can I say something, Dr. Adanma, about contraceptive in Nigeria? So there's a lot of charities now, including Mary Stopes. Honeybee, I'm sure you know Mary Stopes. I don't know if we have.
I know Mary Stopes. They're based in the UK.
So there's now Mary Stopes in Nigeria, and there's a lot of subsidized contraceptive, including IUD. It is actually quite cheap in Nigeria now. Things have changed in the last couple of years. So I just wanted to put that out there in case anyone is listening. There is just Mary Stopes has gone to Nigeria and they do a lot of contraceptive some for free and some for way cheap. So just wanted
That
to put
is
that out there.
true. God, you know that going to the villages, that is where these problems are starting from. Those villagers are the people doing all this, causing all this problems.
Village champion.
Okay, let's go back. Let's stay on top. Let's go back to our topic. Chim, welcome to the show. Could you please unmute? What is your opinion on what we're discussing?
Sorry, I have nothing to add to it right now. I just got here. So you guys go ahead. I need to catch up.
So can I say something in terms of the contraception? Since Abby's now confirmed that you can, Mary Stopes, I know, was based in the UK. They do a lot of like contraception, family planning, education. And since Abby has said what she said, you know, I've always said this, and people used to say to me, Nigeria is not, and I keep saying that we're not that primitive. I know it's a work in progress, but there must be things like contraception, family planning, education. And if education can trickle down to the urban places and villages, there has to be education to make people be aware that you don't necessarily, when you are intimate, it doesn't have to result in pregnancies. If you decide that you agree to have 3 children, you have your 3 children, and then you can still consummate your marriage and not have any more children. I still don't understand. There's this thing in that I've noticed in our community that marriage always equates to children. Not in every case. Once you've had your 3 kids or whatever you've decided to have your number, there's nothing wrong with being intimate with your husband, and it doesn't result in having multitudes of children. And I think having family planning education to educate women, and based on what Dr. Adanma said, it is us as women that made the ultimate decision. Now, I remember my when I was married, my husband was like, I want a second kid. I said, I'm not interested. And I did what I had to do to make sure that I wasn't going to have any more kids. He respected it. But we as women are the ultimate decision makers when it comes to our bodies. If you are pregnant, it's not the fault of the man. It's you that haven't made the necessary preparations to make sure that if you decide that you don't want kids, to make sure you do the necessary action to make sure you don't. And I'm not saying the A word, I'm saying informative communication with your husband, and you agree that we are done after 3, and do the necessary action to make sure you are done after 3, if that's the number that you've decided.
All right, thank
Can
you.
I
So
say
the
something?
next question I have for the panelists is this.
Dr. A, can I say something, please?
Yes. Hold
So-
on, let me ask this question, then you can pick
Okay.
it up with this question.
All
My
right.
question is, how can we change this culture? And because bearing the burden, there's something we say in Igbo that when you leave something for one person, it's going to kill that person. And the psychological damage, like having to put a lot of things on hold. I've seen people paying for private school for people who are back home, and their children here doesn't even attend private school. Make it make sense. You're busy paying all those things and doing things for your siblings back home. I'm not against anyone helping anyone back home, but my thing is, what can we suggest? What ideas can we come up with in a way for you to speak up when you feel like you're overwhelmed? And Abby just says something. She says she struggles with anxiety, and it breaks my heart to hear that, because it is like anxiety is a real thing. It can cause you to have panic attack, a lot of things. I can go on and on, but at the same time, why do our parents, African parents, have this mentality? Like, how can we change this culture of them realizing, you can tell them, daddy, like, how do we suggest or speak up and say, you know what, I can't handle this right now. Can we just, like, what ideas can we come up with? I want to hear from you, Misty, then we'll go to Madam Luke. Go ahead.
So my thing is, I just want to bring it to our attention that marriage stops and other family planning agencies in Africa face so many challenges, in a way that much as they try to educate mostly the masses in the villages and stuff like that, and some of them provide free services, there's also the narrative that these organizations are some kind of propaganda from the Western world, and they are treating the women with medications that leads them to infertility, so they cannot have children. And that's a big thing in Africa. I don't know how we can come to terms with it and make our people understand that these things are, specifically meant for family planning, but their work and the help that they could render to reduce the number of children in a family is facing such challenges. Thank you.
So, Madam, look, how can we change this? How can we improve so that one person doesn't have to bear the whole burden in the family? What are your suggestions? What can you say for us to do? How can we do better?
Okay. So first of all, I think we are operating on a myth here. And I will tell you why it's a myth right now. Most of the things that you see in Nigeria, there are no firstborns carrying no responsibilities. There are very few of those people doing those things. And I'll tell you why. Most children are left to fend by themselves right now. So that is why you have a lot of children who are out of school. And the illiteracy rate is of the 60 plus million people out of schools. So if we were doing so good with taking care of our younger ones and doing all that good stuff, we will not have a high rate of illiteracy. We will not have a high rate of unemployment. So I think it's a myth. So when people give birth, and they're mostly, and we're talking about people who want to do educate people of contraceptives. How do you educate illiterates who have suspicions of everything that comes from the Western world, and people who use IUD and all those people? They're the people looking for children. Most people who have birth control sense, they're the one end up looking for children at the end. Because all those things have messed up the system. They don't know if they're ovulating. They don't even know when their period starts or when they stop. So we're going back to the people who are doing it raw in the villages.
Thank you, Madam Luke.
Yes, you like that, right? So those are people who are doing all those things. And right now, there ain't no firstborn burden in there because everybody's practically taking care of themselves. And that's why you have a lot of Yahooism. I don't know how many firstborns are even taking care of those responsibilities anymore. That's a myth. It used to be, but not anymore. Now, if you can't tell me how are we going to change that culture, you cannot. Because most of your populations are illiterate. Most of them are mentally lazy. And they feel that there's a high level of lack of accountability. So with all this kind of lack of discipline, listen, if there's any place in the world that shows a high rate of indiscipline, it's in Nigeria. We lack discipline. First of all, you bring that your religion, bring your tradition, God will provide. These people they forget we're no longer going to the farms. So why are you having all these children? And lack of birth control, lack of education, you cannot change it. So I am saying it's a doom and gloom. You cannot change it because unless the people are ready to change their mindsets, they go nowhere. You will continue to have these problems. Children that cannot be taken care of, half of them on the streets, no education, nothing. So what do you think is going to change if you don't change your mindset? And how are you going to change your mindset if you cannot have the education you need? People are thinking of going to educate people in the villages about, they can't even take simple vaccinations. And you think you're going to tell them about birth control? Come on, yo, let's be real. We're stuck in this madness and it ain't going to change anytime soon. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Honey Babe. What's your opinion? And the question
And
I asked,
I
how can
was
we do
going
better?
to, yeah, I was going to just continue from where Madam Look said, and I really loved what she said. And it comes back to, I agree with her, How are you educating someone that is not educated, i.e. illiterate? And it comes down to the government. I will say the word, yes, the government, because there has to be some type of change, because like I said, it's supposed to be, see, I don't understand this federal government thing, because I know in the UK we do first past the post, which is completely different. But I know that for me personally, in the UK, the government you have a head of schools. With the federal government, I know that it's state by state, so there's no uniformity in terms of the facilities, in terms of education based on state. This is my assumption in Nigeria. Correct me if I'm wrong. There needs to be a change where you have government that will oversee all of Nigeria, and there has to be a push to build schools. I don't understand this government school. I don't understand that one. The way I'm talking about schools is where the government funds it. They fund the school, and you have schools that have the same facilities. Doesn't matter north, east, south, west, in terms of how the provision of the school is. There has to be it has to be from the top up. There has to be a push in terms of education, and that has to be the first. In order to have good education, you have to have schools being built, good teachers that actually are paid properly, not situations where teachers have not been paid for months, for years, etc., etc. There has to be a push for good schools in order for these children to be educated, for them to grow up into adults, and then are educated enough to make the decision, I need to do family planning. I don't know if that makes sense.
Dr. Adanma. Dr. Adanma.
Yes, I can hear you guys. Yes, it
Sorry.
makes sense. I'm sorry. Yes, I can hear you guys.
Okay, can I say something, please?
Yes, go ahead. You can speak, Abby.
Okay, I'm surprised
Dr.
that not
Dr.
which
Adama left
anyone
us to
has
go
said.
and drink
And
Dom Pedro.
Ben.
I don't know if there's any reason, or if I haven't been listening, nobody has spoken about the fact that we also have a cultural issue where things like sex, for instance, is not discussed openly. It's a thing of shame if, as a woman, you speak about sex, because I don't know why. But I think that even with what Honey Babe was saying, we think about it, the very first time I came to the UK after secondary school, so I did my A levels here and then uni. The very first time I heard about Mary Stopes that I was talking about was at college. And I actually was a bit younger at college. So I started college at 15. I usually college is 16 here in the UK. And that was the first time I even heard that I even had an option of abortion. Now, I'm saying that to say that yes, a lot of African parents complain about the UK system and how early on they speak about all of these things, sex education, blah, blah, blah. I understand that. But one of the issues is even girls not understanding their bodies from early on, because it's a taboo to talk about certain things. One of the issues is not even giving boys the option to know that there's something called condoms and how to use it and all of that stuff. Your parents not going to talk to you about it because they don't want to spoil you. Your school is not going to talk about it. So while we're talking about the education system, there's also a whole, I guess, overhaul that has to be done on a cultural level as well. Why are we so shy to talk about the obvious? You know? So I think it's even
And what do you think is the obvious?
The obvious is that everybody's going to have sex at some point.
God bless you. If I
Everybody's going to have sex at some point.
God bless you.
Please, what's the point of pretending about it? Why are we watching films with our parents and we're closing our eyes when someone is pecking somebody and stuff like that? And don't get me wrong, I get it. But I think that's the first point. One of the things that's eating us up in Nigeria is just our culture and the hiding. Meanwhile, the whole time you're hiding, but nobody's a saint. So it's just hypocrisy, really. So I do think that while we're talking about the education system, we need to talk about also the culture of the hush hush culture, and all of that stuff. And again, like I said, yes, 17 might have been too young to some African parents for me to have even heard that abortion is an option, just saying. But at the end of the day, I think these conversations are important. It's just about finding the right time. I know that I have nephews and nieces in school here in the UK, And a lot of times what my auntie complains about is, oh my God, some things are a bit too early. They're teaching them about LGBT, all sorts. I get that. But if we can find that balance with age, and if most especially, yes, the school has a lot of work to do, but the parents, please, need to do better. Try. I know it's hard. I myself did not get any of that talk, but I think it's very important that parents also talk to their children about these things. I think it might help. But yeah.
Abby, thank you so much. You just spoke about a part that I was going to talk about, but I wanted everybody to finish speaking. And I say it all the time. Africans shy away. I don't know why we pretend a lot. We pretend over the obvious and we enjoy these things. I don't know. We're so pretentious and it makes me sick. It makes me sick to a point like, what is wrong with talking about the body? The body is a beautiful thing. Talk to you. If you're not going to take out time to educate your child about how a man and a woman has intercourse, who is going to do that for you? Someone is going to do it, and they're probably going to do it in a way you're not going to like. So at the end of the day, we need to start having this conversation and start being realistic with the kind of conversation we want to have. Because like Madam Luke said, the people back home, the African, the people in the village, how are you going to tell someone back in the village about contraception if they don't want to take a shot? Like they don't want to take like, I don't know.
It's a cultural issue.
Mm-hmm. It is a cultural issue. I'm going to come to Natu, go ahead. Natu, are you there?
Are you past me?
Yeah, I'm here.
No, Natu has a question.
I
She has a pushback.
I have a pushback to what Madam Luke said when she was talking about. It
I'll
made
come
me
to you,
lose my
Mr.
train of
Obe.
thought. When she was talking about it's impossible to to be able to have contraceptive to people in the villages, or how can we do that? I even forgot the question. But what I wanted to say is that it's not too hard, and let me tell you why it's not too hard. Some of the ways, because I do a lot of NGO work, some of the ways that you can penetrate these people to get people in the community that have been through that, people in the community that have had family members that have experienced that, the community leaders, religious leaders. And when you talk to them, and especially those that are like self-aware, and we have a lot of them now that are educated, some of them are not like formally educated but are self-aware and they know what that means. I remember one Hausa guy that we had that his wife died from breast cancer, and a lot of them were against going for orthodox medication but doing traditional. So because his wife went through that, this guy is like he's an ustaz, but he's one that goes into their people and talk to them now. You understand what I'm saying? So you can't just come from here and just say, "Oh, I want to give you guys," because you have to control your giving. They will just tell you that because that's the same thing that they did during immunization. They say, "Oh, don't take immunization." They're just trying to slow down the birth rate, and all the other people believe that. And everybody in this chat that is from the north will tell you, a Hausa man, whatever their malams tell them, or whatever their community leaders tell them, that's what it is. So those are the people that you're supposed to get to and talk to them so that they talk to their people. And because now we know that having large number of kids does not amount to anything, even the community leaders and the religious leaders are against it and they preach for people to control. Yes, there are a lot of Hausa men that will tell their wives, if you do contraceptive, when you have Allah Isa, it's like swearing for you. I know one woman that gives birth like almost every year, and she by herself know what her body went through and agreed to go put the contraceptive. So, and there are a lot of organizations in Nigeria. I can count five out of my head, and my sister-in-law works with one that give free contraceptives even in the villages, mostly in the rural areas. Do you understand what I'm saying? So now the only strategy that they need is community leaders, religious leaders, get people in the community that have been affected, get people in the community that are schooled, that can be able to talk to their people in the language that they understand. If you go there doing straight, they believe that anything that comes from abroad is a scam. But when there are people talk to them and said, I've used this is that. And it's always easier for me to talk to my people when I go doing my thing on breast cancer. Because I've lost 8 family members, what do you want to tell me? Do you understand what I'm saying? So like I know the pain and they know that I know and I speak to them in the language that they understand. So that's just what I wanted to add to what Madam Luke said.
So sorry, So sorry, Madam Adanma. just to reply what you just said. You see, you see, reaching to educating Nigerians, you make it look so simple. Even here, we all know when we're in the diaspora, for you to go and even get a contraceptive. When I took my daughters, you have to do lab work. You have to see what is good for your body system. You don't even know what you can
My
react to.
sister, it is simple now. It's not like before.
No.
I'm
You don't
just telling
understand what
you.
I'm saying. There's some things that have complications,
Mm-hmm.
and there's no way for follow up on these things. You just can't just carry contraceptives and just hand it over to people without even doing an individual study on their body systems.
Well,
How
they
does
don't
that
have
work?
that. Let me tell you, good news is they don't do all those blood works for them to give them. Highest if they give you a contraceptive in Nigeria and you react, they take it out. That's the
They
highest.
take
I'm
it
just
out.
telling you that. Yes.
Yeah,
It
that's
can
not.
And then
distort your system. It can
maybe you
distort
try a
your
different
system.
one. I've
By the time
known
they've already taken it out,
excuse me.
listen, let me tell you, this
No,
lazy
no, no. I've known someone that have used
Okay,
three
okay,
different
but
ones before she
can I
got the
say
one that
something?
works for
Can
her.
I say something? The topic is not about contraception. Please,
Yeah.
we're deviating from
no,
what we are supposed
it's
to
all
do.
part of the topic. Oh, you're thinking about how we're going to curtail this menace, and we're thinking
Yes.
of contraception as part
It's
of
part of the topic,
the
Brother
remedy.
Adana.
Yeah, I know it's part of the topic, but this is what I want us to stay focused on. The parents, the siblings, how do we navigate? And it's you who bears that person that bears the finance. What are the suggestions that we can tell that person? Like, what can we advise? Like, how do our parents start realizing that to leave this burden for one person is too much? And as
Have a
parents, before they do all these things, like, what are the suggestions? Let's not just focus on the aspect of contraception. We get it. They
Okay,
will
let me
not
ask you.
use it.
Let me
yeah,
find
but
out what exactly you're asking. Let me get what exactly you're asking. You are going to ask us to tell which parents that has already given you the burden to do what?
They are done.
Madam
I'm not
Luke, please.
understanding what you're saying.
Madam Luke, please. Let me play this. Let me play this video, and we'll go from there. Please hold on, everyone. Um, Madam Luke, go ahead. Finish what you want to say while I'm looking for what we're going to play. Go ahead. Finish what
Yeah,
you.
I'm saying, how do we advise who that is taking the burden? Okay, like me, I'm the firstborn. You want to
Yes,
advise me?
this is my thing, okay? Someone who is going through this, people put a lot of things on hold. They put their career on hold. They
Oh,
put like advancing in life on hold because they are carrying the whole family. Oh, my younger brother has to go to college next year. I
you
have to pay for him to
Well,
go to
Dr.
college.
Adana, is you have a conversation. I don't know, maybe it's the Butico in me. You have a conversation. Mommy,
exactly,
I cannot afford to pay for this. I beg.
exactly.
I'm struggling. I'm paying student loan. I just had my first baby.
And I made a
I'm
statement.
on maternity leave. You talk am now. You have a
No,
conversation with your parents.
honey, babe, I even said it. Self care first.
All right, thank you. Femi has not spoken. Femi, what is your opinion and what is your suggestion about how we can do better? Femi, are you there?
Oh yeah, sure.
Go
Um,
ahead.
yeah, can you? Okay, so first of all, I always enjoy Madame Luke's contribution because, and I mean this in a very positive light. You remind me of my elder sister. I'm honest. So anyway, and because of again, I like to use my own truth whenever, or speak my own truth whenever situations I can relate to come up. Whilst I'm not disagreeing with you, Madam Luke, for example, based off of your submission. However, I am speaking from my own experience and what I've seen growing up within my domain, the areas where I live, as an example, or amongst family, friends. And one thing I remember, to your point, Adama, to your question, Adama, that my sister had to do, and thankfully she has reasonable siblings, because you and I would agree that unfortunately, generally amongst Africans and well, I hate to say, it, but Nigerians is just the truth. Even away from the topic, you would agree with me that people have a sense of entitlement. There's that entitlement, looming entitlement mentality amongst Nigerians, and you don't even have to be abroad. It could be you. You could be in Nigeria, and someone would come across as though, in my sister's words, were you there when I was going to school, making my 2-1 or first class, burning the candle? What makes you think that I have to help you? In fact, my sister famously said when one of my siblings kind of screwed up a bit. She famously told me when I was having a conversation with her that, look, you should see it as a privilege that we're probably even siblings, because it could have been someone else I did not know, in response to when I was trying to like, just calm her down because of her being upset about something the youngest of my siblings was demanding, as though it was a right. So I said this to say that beyond even the financial, I'm even going as far as looking at the psychological effects, the emotional effects that firstborns have to endure in terms of, again, expectations of meeting up to what maybe even society or even parents or just general family members are expecting in terms of career success, in terms of even marrying at a certain age. And I'm sure a lot of us can relate to this, right? Now, I remember specifically that at some point, my sister, and it wasn't even just with respect to us, because even at the extended family level, there were people that were looking to my sister as though she was the second coming of manna of heaven after the original one. At some point, she had to even leave Nigeria physically, you know. Fine, he had a situation where she had to put her career on hold, and this one, it's something I know that she had to do just because she was trying to help and keep helping people. But I think she came to a point of realization at some point that, wait, what am I even doing? Like, I don't owe anybody anything. So I think, just in summary, I think what would help continuously will be having that open communication. But then, even when you do have this open communication that we're talking about, it's not everybody in Nigeria that has, well, maybe Africa, but I'm speaking to Nigeria now. It's not everybody that cares about that communication. Some people, a lot of people, unfortunately, in our community, I hate to say, but again, we know these things are true. You will tell them, they will see that you've tried enough, you've tried your best, and you've said no, but they're not even ready to listen to that. No, they just feel that he or she has, he doesn't want to help. And again, I know that I'm circling back to the financial part, but generally I like to look at holistically at the other aspects of just general expectations, whatever those expectations might be. So I think, again, where apart from that, one thing I wanted to disagree a bit, just a bit, with Madam Lucon, I agree with being able to say no, taking care of yourself first, mental health, because, like, I've decided about, nobody really cares about you like that too. At the end of the day, again, in my sister's famous words, see, it is the same people that you want to kill yourself for that will turn back and probably start mocking you later on in life. Perhaps just a footnote, Madam Lu. Let me just say another thing there. See, I know and it's true what you said about having female kids. Honestly, me, I love female kids. That's why I classify myself as being lucky. I love female kids, and I know the reason why. Maybe also because of that father daughter bond. But very important, I can guarantee you there's as many males out there, and I count myself amongst them, that really, really took care of their, especially mothers. I did not joke with my mother till she died. In fact, I think I was closer to her than even my elder sister. So I just wanted to put that caveat in. Thanks.
Okay.
Thank you so much, Femi. Misty, are you there? Could you please unmute? What is your opinion and what suggestion? How can we do better?
So for me, I feel like my suggestion could be in a way where you and your siblings, you come to some kind of agreement where the firstborn could have done their part to uplift the siblings or whoever is behind them, but we have Africans generally, we have to learn to pass it on. I feel like you cannot have a firstborn, task them with all these obligations, and then the others become stable, and then they still expect you to continue providing as a firstborn, regardless. So we have to have that sense of responsibility where we pass it on. I mean, if I've done the best I can and my siblings are at a place where they're relatively okay, then take care of those behind you as well. And the other thing that I would suggest, this is something that we do in our family. And I do understand and realize that not everybody in the family is, financially well off, but we have we set up the siblings, we set up a fund where every month it's an emergency fund where every month each one of us is tasked with the responsibility of remitting some amount of money into that account. So that account is basically there to have those funds available in case there's a family emergency and we don't have the money right away to take care of those emergencies. That comes in handy, and I feel like maybe in the last 2-3 years it's worked perfectly fine. I don't have to constantly worry that, oh my God, if something happens, then I have to take care of everything. No, it's I think it's a good strategy that we could possibly borrow. Even if you have to put the bare minimum, if you are a firstborn or you are blessed, not even necessarily a firstborn, you are blessed, you have more than your siblings, you could open that account, and if you have more, you put in more, and then the others can chip in. The whole point is everybody is being responsible to raising that fund, so that if there's a family emergency, that fund can be used to take care of it, instead of one person being looked at to take care of, to shoulder that financial responsibility. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Misty. Mr. Obey, what is your opinion? How can we do better, sir?
Yeah, I think basically we I just tell people don't take more than you can chew. It's very important. Don't impress people. Don't live a don't live your life based on what feedback people are going to give to you or something. Live according to your capacity and your strength. That had carried me along, and I believe that this giving arm to people continuously is not sustainable. That's what I tell my people. I tell them, I don't just send money to you like that. I have to ask you, what are you doing? What do you want to do? What is your situation like? You will tell me, oh, I want this, I want that. I settle you at once, and you dare not call me again for anything. Instead, you should be helping others too. That is how I navigated my own situation. After my brother had issues and he left and shut down everybody, I had to tell people this everyday sending, I wasn't going to do that except for the parents. But you siblings, you have to tell me what you want and give me empirical proof of what it is. At the end of the day, I sorted them out and everybody was fine. I tried not to impress people. Like I just came back from Nigeria about a month ago. I told everybody, I said, every money that anybody sent from abroad, I said, do you know that I'm denying my own children that funds that I'm giving to you? I said, or probably I can add it to my mortgage and pay down, or put it to my whatever life insurance and pay down. I said, so don't always think that this thing's an obligation. I said, no, it's a privilege. I spread it out to them. Everybody should understand that each kobo I give to you is supposed to be, I'll go and make more shopping for my children that are here, or probably keep some money for them for their education or whatever. But I got to sacrifice that for us. So always take it like a privilege, not a right. Haven't established that. You see that this parental problem thing that they are creating, this generation that we are in, and our children has already missed it. It is the next one that we're talking to now. When I came back from Nigeria, I noticed that the people there are already conscious of less children now. When I interacted, when I was in the bank those days, you see somebody that is doing well, a GM, an assistant manager, a team leader is having 1 or 2 kids. But the man that is in the gate, that is opening the gate, is having 7 children. The man that is there that is clean, coming to clean every day in the banking hall. He has 8 children, he has 6 children, he has 5 children that is running around for. You see, they are the one that created the problem for us, as in the people that have enough are always having lesser kids. It's obvious. Because if you have more, I told my people, if you have more than 3 children, vacation will be out of it. You can't buy tickets for all of them again. You can't travel again. You can't enjoy life. You're going to be a subsistence family man. That's what you're going to be. Because you created that situation for yourself. Even if you have 4 children, you're going to buy 4 tickets plus you and your wife, 6 tickets to make a trip. How long are you going to do that? How long in this present economy that we are in now? So my interaction with the low-truding people around the society today, they are already thinking of, because of the TPA, they are already winding down themselves that they're going to not give more than 2 children, more than 3 children. They already have the narrative, the Gen Zs them are already thinking along that line. So we won't have a problem going forward. But the problem is that we should clear out the ones that are already pending. That is where we are today. And please don't always impress them. If you impress them, when they go home, and that's what that my brother that is begging me for money, the kind of roof he used a roof in his house. It's more than the one I used a roof in my house when I built before I left Nigeria. And I said, bros, you say you don't have money, you are broke. The kind of roof you use the roof in this house. Me, I don't use it for my house. Before I travel.
Asongo Bona will.
My brother, I said, you have this kind of funds to roof a house, and you can't even finish the house. You are roofing house with almost how many million? You don't know what is called Cameroon zinc. Don't know what is called the lesser whatever. I used to roof a house and live there for now. When things get better, build another one. Okay? So my brother, don't kill yourself for them. Do what you can do according to your situation, as in conveniently, after your mental health is okay. All right. Now voice me. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for that input. Abby, what do you have to say? How can we do better?
How can we do better? I like Missy's suggestion. I actually do same with my siblings, but not necessarily for anything per se. We don't know what we're saving for, but we just put money aside. I guess you just never know when you need it. So that's definitely a very good suggestion. The truth is, I think I remember what Sis Natsu was talking about education, and Madam Luke pushed back saying, it's really hard to educate. The truth is we have to start from somewhere. And I say this because I've personally seen, even at my age, seen how just constant clamoring for something on the internet was slowly making a change. Let's even use something as simple as politics, for instance. Look at how the youth are getting involved in politics. Look at what happened the last election. Is because we kept talking, we keep talking. Up to date, we still have people that are creating spaces, young people under 30, that are creating spaces to learn about politics, that are getting involved in politics more than they used to be. It means that sometimes talking and hammering on something can make a change, no matter how little. So I would say we just have to continue to enlighten people. Platforms like this are very helpful because you hear people's experiences. And I think that's the one thing that I've taken with me, or I keep taking with me generally in life, is everyone cannot be lying about certain things. By the time I listen to Dr. Adanma and I listen to Honey Babe and I listen to Sis Natu, Missy E, Madam Luke, I surely everybody has similar experiences, and then you can think about it and say, you know what, I want to take something from that and apply it here and there. So yeah, I would say we just have to keep talking. It does work when we're in the internet age right now, so we can spread information faster. And then generally, as people, I think we also need to remember the communication thing. It's actually not do or die affair. Honestly, I think people need to be honest. There's no reason for unnecessary pressure, because at the end of the day, you can't even pour from an empty cup. So what is the point if you're not going to be well? In more recent times in diaspora, especially with the more recent people that moved, I was saying the last 5 years, there's been a lot of strange, unexpected, sudden passing away of people due to stress. I don't know about the US, but it's been happening a lot in the UK, where a lot of people are just packing shifts, packing shifts. What do you mean you're doing 14 hours, 4 times a week, 5 times a week? And then the next thing you have a nice job, and next thing you're doing warehouse. All of these things, sometimes, yes, I know we're even to do better, but a lot of these people are also carrying burden. You can't go from collecting all of that debt to move yourself abroad, and then you're sending money back home when you have people that can actually work. That's one of my pet peeves. What do you mean you're feeding your siblings when your siblings are adults and they actually can work? I don't understand. At the very least, if I've given you, because I have that situation currently with my nanny, and that's what I was trying to explain, where sometimes it's hard. For me, my nanny looked after me. My family has done everything they can, and it's always one thing or the other where her businesses don't work every time they invest in her. So now I realized that there's no point in me trying to gather 3 million naira for you or anything of substantial for you to start a business. I've realized that she's the sort of person that should just be placed on salary. This is the 50,000 naira a month I have, manage it kind of thing. So it's even things like that where it's not by force. I can decide to actually not help her, but I just realized that there's that obligation. And that's what we're saying sometimes, where it's easier said than done. But at the end of the day, the amount of money I give her is not going to do anything to me. So again, I think communicate with your people, tell them you can't, be honest with yourself, be honest with them. Because at the end of the day, they even need you. If it's 20 pounds you have, let them manage it. If it's 50 pounds you have, let them manage it, or let them get a job. But stop feeding people that can actually feed themselves. Let them go and work. Be honest. That's what I'm going to say.
Thank you. You just spoke my mind there. I always say it. In my own household, once you're 16, you have to go get, you have to keep your mind busy. Summertime, you cannot stay home. You just have to do it. So if in my own house, my own children at 16 are working and driving, and a grown adult, I have to send. No, I don't want to even think about it. I'm sorry, I can't do it. That's just me. Maybe that's the selfishness in me.
You are
I'm sorry, I
stingy.
can't do it. Yes, I'm very stingy. Yes, you can say that. Yes, when it comes to me, I don't believe in enabling grown adults or having them spoon feed them to. Oh, you got one water. Oh, you this. I don't have time for that. Natu, over to you. What is your opinion? How can we do better? Natu, are you there?
So did you intentionally skip me?
Oh, I didn't know you were ready.
You did know I was ready. Did you ask anybody else they were ready when you were calling them?
Oh, I didn't see you now. I didn't know. The
There's
thing
nothing
dropped.
like seeing me. We're not on a video session, so
Oh,
you
I
don't need
didn't
to see
see that. I
me.
didn't know you were still
She's
there. Now
doing
you didn't.
she's
When I called
doing
you earlier, you said
sisterhood.
you had nothing to say. Okay, go
She's
ahead. You
doing
can speak.
sisterhood.
No, it's not about. I mean, sorry if I just come into a show and people are talking, so I should just jump in. I'm sorry, I'm not going to do that. I have to listen and understand where the context is. So I wasn't trying to please anybody when I said I had nothing to say. I had nothing to say. I was trying to listen so that I understand where the drive is before I start running my mouth. I mean, that should be common sense now. But if Natu is about to speak, I'll wait for her to speak. That's okay.
Are you going to speak? Chim, can you please speak since you started
Chim,
speaking?
go ahead. I yield for you.
You can go ahead and speak.
All right. So on what we can do better, I just want to start with the personal. I don't have any siblings I've paid school fees for. So I don't know what it is to pay school fees for a sibling. My parents trained all of us and empowered us to go Eke living. But when it comes to responsibility, I owe my parents that responsibility because my father gave me an education up to a master's level. So if he's unable to take care of himself, I don't just feel obligated to take care of him. I feel a sense of gratitude to do it. So I will break my back doing it. No apologies. But I agree, people should start learning to say no. If somebody's asking you, if a grown man is asking you for money to pay his children's school fees, I don't give grown men money to pay their children's school fees. I don't do that because I do everything I need to do, even if it means working round the clock to pay my own children's school fees. So I believe you should go figure it out how to do it. But that being said, I think because we live in a society, it hasn't to do with being stingy. That's fine. Everybody can, go the route that gives them peace and makes them happy. That's fine. If a friend or somebody calls me once to ask for help, I will have a conversation with them. I always let them know I cannot give you, loan me 2 million. No, I don't have 2 million. Even if I have 10 million sitting, I don't have 2 million to give you as a loan. I don't loan money. What I can ask you is what you want to do. You tell me, then I'll assist to the extent I can. And I'll tell you, it is not alone. So that even if it doesn't work out for you, you can't come back. I've given you, I've tried. I myself, I don't go burdening people, not out of pride, not out of feeling self-sufficient, but I try to look for solutions to my problem. However, when I can ask for help, I will ask. It's up to you. If you tell me it's not convenient for you, I walk away. I don't hold it against you because you owe me nothing. That's my mindset. So I also think it's also a mindset thing. The more we begin to inform ourselves that, like people have already said here, nobody owes you anything, but not in a derogatory way, not in a way you look down on people, because that's also how you communicate it is also critical, because no man is an island. That it is okay for you today, you can do all these things where all these Turenchi we're speaking here. You might also need that person who you thought, oh, uneducated, how dare him come ask me for? You might need them in the areas of life where they have the capacity to help you. God forbid somebody dies in your family and you need to go bury that person. There are people who are on the ground who know the details of how to go about things. But because you've been self-sufficient, they will also ask you to go and be self-sufficient to yourself in dealing with those issues. Never forget that. So my philosophy is always that the play between two dogs is one falls for the other, the other one falls, but in a reasonable, rational way. Then coming to comments about Nigerians, this is just an aside, because I heard that conversation earlier. We've said that Nigerians are ignorant. Nigerians are necessarily ignorant. I agree that the people in the rural area need a bit of information, like Natu said. It's not that they're difficult to help, it's to explain things to them. They're coming from a mindset. Let them know what is healthy. Before we start talking about extreme or more complicated contraceptive uses, can we start talking to them about the men using condom before they sleep with their wives? At least that's a basis to start from before we start talking about the more complex ones that we'll be mentioning. Let them learn that condom is not a bad thing. This is a way of reducing the number of children your wife has to go through and all that. When you educate them, it's not difficult. It's been accomplished in many places. And even in some of those rural places, we tend to think, oh, they're just giving children like puppies. It's not true. It's not true. Sometimes a lot of myth flying around the whole place. There are people who may be in the village, but they are informed. They just happen to be living in the village. That's the fact. Now, I personally believe that the issue with NGOs, is not a case of Nigerians bearing or running around with conspiracies. There are a couple of things we call conspiracies that are actually true. For instance, here in the US, we had the Tuskegee experiment against Black people. You're not going to call that a conspiracy. It happened. In Nigeria, there were people in the north who Pfizer came to give inoculations. At least Natu is from the north. She knows what I'm talking about. And Pfizer used them as guinea pigs. The matter went to court for several years. The former vice president of Nigeria, Professor Shibajo, was the one who was the counsel for the poor people who were affected. And he won the case against Pfizer. It went as far as the United Nations and World Health before this was settled. So it's not every day that, because people are afraid that, they've told them something. For instance, the issue of farming and cropping in Africa, where people are telling us we need to start bringing in GMOs. GMOs have implication on the soil. I even to tell the farmer that he doesn't know what he's saying when there's been scientific proof that the moment you put that thing on the ground, you have destroyed that ground. So I think sometimes we need to be very careful. We need to be very careful. This is not every NGO that is trying to do good, supposedly trying to do good in Africa, that necessarily means well. There are people who intentionally want to reduce the population. It's a fact. So we can't rule those things out. What we need to do is educate people to know, for them to be able to spot the healthy and good intentions and buy into those things. These are the only ways we can start helping people reduce putting pressure on their family members and telling somebody he has to carry the burden of, raising the entire community. It's not sustainable, I agree. Like I said, I can't speak for anybody. Nobody has put me under pressure to come and train. My siblings, we all got equal opportunity from our parents. But right now, I contribute to taking care of those parents. They are not capable of doing it for themselves. I carry my siblings along. We have a fund for them. We set up, we put money there. and then everybody's contributing to helping them. We recently moved my parents from Lagos to somewhere, a suburb in the southeast, and it was a joint effort. No one person did it. Everybody chipped in what they needed to chip in for as far as they could chip in, and we moved them. They are retired. They can't help themselves. So, but I just think with a bit more of education and understanding, it's not enough to just beat people up and tell them they're not educated, scream at them and tell them how, and all those things we say. We need to be compassionate. At the end of the day, it's compassion that is going to win the war. It's not just trying to educate people. I'll end by saying people don't want to care, are not interested in how much you know until they can see how much you care. If you don't show that care concept in you, they carry your information and run into the gutters. They're not interested. So, but if we want to really help, then we need to be compassionate, explain to people until they start buying in. It's only when they start buying in that the kind of results we're looking for will start reaping the ripple effect of it. I yield the floor right now.
See, Dr. Adama, don't go drink Don Pedro again.
Natsu, can you go ahead? Could you please unmute?
Hey, okay, so as a retired empath.
Natsu, before you go, let me play this last video so that you can pick up from it. So then we can so you can comment on it. Let me play this last video. Let me mute. I think I found it. Then you can give me your opinion and give me what suggestion we have. Ah, gosh. To go ahead. Go ahead. I'm having a hard time with the video. Go ahead.
You need a PA.
Yes,
you need a PA that's supposed to. You need a PA that should be
You
handling
need
the video.
Gen Z PA. Gen Z, particularly.
No, she need traditional PA. Traditional PA.
Okay, Benno, please let's not
I didn't ask for your opinion. If everybody's speaking, don't send it
to a new platform that we are not well. Let's not show people here that we're not well.
Okay, so as a retired empath, right? I think one of the things I'll tell people is like you have to learn to say no. And then to add to what Madam Luke said, you have to take care of yourself first. And I think for the longest, I've put people before me. And I think that is coming from my upbringing, from how I see my dad. My dad was not the firstborn, he was the last child. But he was the first in his family to go to school. He was the first in his family to go abroad. So all the burdens of like his younger step siblings, cousins, and nephews were on him that were trying to go to school. So I just felt like that's another way of like helping the community, and it drained me. It really drained me until this year. I'm not even ashamed to say it. Until this year, that I had to borrow myself sense that people will call me and I'll say I don't have, and they'll be shocked. So what I have to say is that people have to take care of themselves. And if you, by any chance, like Chin said, you have parents that are not able to help themselves, if you're in that position, then I think that you are obligated to help them if they've given you that life that you have right now. And also, if you have siblings, don't try to be the Superman, because sometimes some people like my mom's younger brother, he's the last born and he's very wealthy right now. He tries to do everything by himself. I think one day I had to flip on them. And like, why is it that everything you guys have to call him? And there are 12 in their family, two are late, 10 are still alive. But everything he wants to do, he wants. I said, no, you guys don't do that. They're like, okay, but he wants to do it. But because before he became who he is, they were the ones doing it. But that's not an excuse. So stop trying to be a Superman. If you have siblings, this is what I think we should do. Let's create a pause. Let's bring money together. Let's do this in case if anything happens. And if you don't have that communication, it's gonna affect you people when something comes up, because the person that has it, everybody will be looking at you to do it. So you have to have that open communication. You have to take care of yourself. You have to think about your future. I just want to tell people on this platform that this Gen Z, Generation Alpha and Generation Beta, they are not your retirement plan. Plan for yourself, because these children will take you to nursing home if you are lucky, or they will come to your house once in 4 months and come and greet you. That's if they come. Plan your retirement. Don't be an empath and want to help everybody. It's not everybody that deserves to be helped. It's not every dog that deserves a bone. That's just the fact. So while you're doing it for your children, plan for your own retirement. So that when your children are having their own lives, you'll be having your own life too. Because what we are doing for our parents now, a lot of our children will not do for us. Because the way they are set up, they're not set up that way. And you have to work on that. Because I've seen a lot of people struggle with that right now, and it's not even fun. So that's the only way we can help ourselves, honestly speaking. And you can't be a savior. You're not a messiah. Don't be a VDM trying to save everybody. Anything that is happening, you want to put your voice in it and give your 2 cents. That's not your own. Like Chim has said, don't borrow people money. If you want to give, have a conversation with people and say, this is how much I can help. I have an aunt that she's one of the custodians of my Momo bottle. Anytime she talks about money, I bring her and give her. This woman was shocked this year that she was talking about money and I didn't support her. She was shocked. But because my sense, they have restored my sense to factory setting, those things don't get to me anymore. So I just had to start doing things for myself. That's just the fact, because I realized I wasn't doing anything for myself. I wasn't taking care of myself. It was all about people, and honestly, it was because of where I was, how I was raised, how I see my dad trying to help everyone. But I think the wake up call was when my dad was sick. Those same people that my dad trained called to tell us that we need to send money because everywhere is hard, and I was shocked. So that was one of my wake up calls, and that should be everybody's wake up call, honestly speaking. So that's just what I have to say this night.
Thank you so much. Let me play the next video then. Uncle Ben, I'll come to you. Then I'll come to you. Can do, can do.
I'm not one of those Christian women that will bring kids into poverty because I have faith that God will provide. I'm not one of those Christian women. I'm not going to knowingly birth kids in this economy, especially when I'm not doing anything to support myself. Then I'll birth kids so that they'll suffer. Do you know how I suffered as a child growing up because of poverty? Why would I do that to my children? I'm not doing it because God will provide. Yes, God provided, but they chased me out of school so many times. Yes, God provided, but I had to wait so long to replace my shoes. Yes, God provided, and He did. He showed up so many times, but I suffered. And there are so many wounds I have because of poverty ingrained in my soul that I still have to go to therapy and decompress. I'm not going to put my kids through that. If I cannot give my children a life that was at least 20, even if it's 30% better than mine, I'm not having children yet. I'm sorry.
Uncle Ben, what is your opinion on that video and how can we do better, sir?
Okay, thank you very much. I've heard everybody. But that last video you played, where is she coming from with her
Ben,
rant?
Ben, please
Yes,
calm
Uncle Ben, you
down.
know where she's coming
Ben,
from. She's coming from the middle.
You know
She's
where she's
coming from
coming
the
from.
middle.
Just
Ben, I am begging you tonight. Tonight, my head is not in the right this thing. So just focus on that video tonight.
I
You know
will,
you started this night. Just
I
focus
will
on that
give
video.
you Dom Pedro. Don't worry.
No,
I
it's not
just
called
like
Don
to
Pedro. It's
know
called Don Preyon.
Dom Perignon. No, not Dom Pedro.
oh
Anyway,
my god.
this this conversation, I won't lie to you. I've been listening all through. I got lost at the point after Madame Luke have spoken, and what got me lost was when Madame Luke was talking about contraceptive and all that. And to be honest, I kind of see it differently. The problem we are talking about right here is firstborn and even any child at all carrying more responsibilities than necessary. And if I have to talk about solution, me, I would say we just have to drag the government officials block us. I'm speaking as a Nigerian right now. The biggest problem we have in Nigeria has always remained poverty. And poverty thrives because there is no infrastructure, there is no provision. The government are not doing the right thing. And another problem we also have is religion. Economy, bad economy, plus over reliance on religion is what led to people believing that, oh, if God can just do it for my sister, if God can do it for my brother, He will liberate all of us. He will be responsible for us and all that. When people are supposed to be thinking about what am I going to do productively? How do I fend for myself? So I think the solution majorly lies with the government doing the necessary. Many people who are giving birth up and down, many of them are giving birth as a result of poverty. That's the only way they derive any measure of happiness. When they don't go, work no day, bill plenty, everything, they come back and they look at their wife like, oh God, this woman that you've given me, she will give me happiness. The next thing, both husband and wife, kiriwa don't start. But having said that, for people who actually have this responsibility that looks more or less like an obligation on their own part, my advice would be that you, just like Mr. Chim said earlier, you got to look at the situation,
Sorry, Uncle Ben, I just want to
evaluate.
say something.
All right.
I just want to say something. Abby, you got it? Abby.
What's what?
You yes.
Okay.
Check,
Yeah.
check. Yes, check. Ben, go ahead. Go ahead.
So I'm just gonna say that we we own people the responsibility to care for them if God bless you. But how do you go about it? Our family dynamics are not the same. We're all different. In my own family, my father had 21 children. After death, don't buy some and all of that, I still grew up to meet like 14 of us. Even some of them don't later buy now. But the bottom line is that in my own case, I'm the only one in the US among all my family members, all my siblings, mother, father, everybody, now only me the US. So the situation from my own end is a little bit different. But I can only give recommendation based on how I handled mine. So like I said earlier, I stopped at a point and I started looking at it like, Omo, if I continue to give, everybody is just calling me up and down every time there is problem. And I was really, really in debt. So once I started looking at it like, what is important? What should I give top priority to? And what is not necessary? For instance, if you born Peking, you won't do naming ceremony. Either you are my brother or my sister. You telling me is for me to just congratulate you, and then any change where I feel sent to you, I'm giving it to the baby, not you. But if you are telling me, Aburo, we want to do this naming ceremony, the whole thing, now around 150,000, around 200,000. After I've realized what I was doing wrong, I will just tell you straight off. I no get shishi to give you. If you no even take time, self, that money where I won't give your picking before, I won't give the picking again. Because my uncle, God bless his memory, taught me one thing, and that is the power of saying no. I was younger when he was teaching me all that, between age 14 to like 17. That's when he was teaching me the power of saying no. And I've come to realize that as Nigerians, one of the most difficult thing for us to say under some circumstances is to say no. We are not just wired to look at people and tell them say no, I no fit. And then as I was growing up and moving on in my journey, and when I began to become a man, I now found out that people have this sense of entitlement. Like you have to do it. God don't bless you. Now, say, be you there, America. You just have to do it. So my advice is this: help when it is necessary. Know the people you are responsible for. As I'm speaking to you right now, as our family big, rich, extend everything rich, I am only responsible for 2 people every month. I'm helping a lot of people when I get the power. But when it comes to that, hey, month end, who must I help? Only 2 people. My elder sister and my one of my stepsister. And I told my PA, this is a standing order. Every month, send also amount to these 2 people. Now, when it comes to children and everything, what I did, maybe it can help some people, is that I actually have to address everybody and let them know that, look, I don't have the money that you can spend anyhow. If you want to acquire skill, tell me what skills you needed. I will pay for it. But there is a caveat. If I pay for this skill, if you finish and I set you up, don't you ever in your wildest dream think you are going to turn around and say, hey, brother, can you come happen? Somebody enter inside Shalanga or something. I will just block you off. If I have to do anything after that, it simply means that I just feel like willingly to do it. So that is how me I handled mine. I think about 5 years to 4 years ago, when I started telling them all that, many of them got angry. They know they even chat me, they know they call me, they know they do anything. I mean myself, I be Agbaku, coconut head. I no fucking send no freaky person. And believe me, for about 8 months, that all of them ignored me. The money I usually send home every month. Did you know I saved over $10,000 for 8 months?
Please say that again. Say it louder. You said you saved
True,
over how
true,
much?
true. Yeah.
I'm telling you,
Please say it
they
louder.
ignored
You saved
me.
over how much?
10,000.
Over $10,000
God bless you.
within 8 months. Just because they ignore me, some of them were bold enough, they're your senior now, they go talk. Some come, they send me all kind of nonsensical voice note and everything. Along for God do it for you. Now I no send. I didn't send no freaky body. Then I told my wife, I said, babe, I beg. If anybody call you, say talk to your husband. No, even talk to me. Don't even say somebody call me. And she was like, this is strange. Why? I said, madam, me and my people, we don't enter one trouser. And I don't craze for everybody. I know they might get to you. Don't discuss nothing with me. And that was it. And I'm so happy that my wife Kukuma know me. She respected that. For 8 months, because what I was doing was that the amount I'm spending home every month, sometimes 1K, sometimes $600. There is no one single month I don't send up to like $500. And that is me managing. And it has nothing to do with me paying my staff or people that are working for me or something. So after that 8 months, when I saw that money, God forgive me. I now went back to my first account in the US, my UFCU account. I now go begin to check my record. The thing took me like almost 2 weeks, but I get time, I get wahala. I check everything and I'm like, blood of Zachariah, I would have been a millionaire by now. So I'm not saying this to say maybe I threw my family under the bus. Honestly speaking, they are all doing fine. Right now, almost all of them, they are doing fine in their own capacity. But after 8 months plus, they now begin crawl back gradually. This time when they come, they really, really have problem that they needed assistance for. Initially when they will be coming, it's just like they open an ATM in my head. It's like they calculate them. Okay, you don't reach 3 months. Wait, Ben, don't give me money. Let me just tell them and say I need money for something. So, but when they start coming back, that is when I now begin to deploy my PA. I now double check, even at the point, because this thing go far deeper than what we are discussing here, depending on your family dynamics. At first, my eldest brother is the one that I usually route money through. I will send the money to him. He will be the one to settle everybody whenever they carry wahala come. Now, then later, they started fighting. Serious fighting, fighting each other, fight my brother. My brother said, fight everybody. It was messy. So I started dreaming. I would see my mom in the dream. She'll be talking to me. I don't understand. When they finally broke out, and because my elder sister, she's like my guardian angel. When the whole thing got to her, she now called me and said, Ben, cut these people off. This is too dangerous. So I'm like, una wan kukuma pay me because of money we no be una money. So I stopped. Now, when they come back now, you have any problem, I will investigate it. And what I now do, even my brother, I don't use my brother no more. My PA is the one in charge of everything. They no kukuma get her number or anything. Every month when I send money, and they used to do something. They have this thing they called urgent 2K. It's not 2K in case of this, my own family wahala. No be urgent 2K. It's just that they will come with a problem like it be like say that they die. Nah. If you no solve that problem, they go die tomorrow. So I now establish one thing. If you need help for anything, if that thing is 3 months away, tell me now. If you come to me in 1 week or 3 days, I will tell you simply, sorry, I don't have the money. Sometimes my wife will be like, it's too harsh. It's not too harsh. Good men die fast. I have to be a madman to stay alive. So your own style, you can come up with it. But you see, if you really don't know how to say no, if that you are firstborn or lastborn or whatever, some of them, they will laugh at you at the end of the day
I
if you
mean,
don't
one
achieve
small
anything.
pushback. Eh?
Yes.
Okay. I think it's understood, but you know, in those days, before this abroad thing changed, family used to team up, sell property or sell whatever, and move one of them abroad. So
Of course.
when that becomes your situation, you are like a capital investment. So we shouldn't forget that. We shouldn't
Well,
forget that
I think
anyway.
we need to. I think another thing we need to say too. Uncle Ben is the fourth born. Like, let's say, listen, don't listen. Ben is not the, yes, maybe among his family member, he's one of the financial, he's
Pillar.
comfortable, I would say, because
Mm.
Ben never admits that he's financial comfortable. I know him, typical behavior. But at the end
He's
of
the
the day,
baby of the family. He's
I
the
need
last
money. I'm
born.
not comfortable.
he's the big,
I beg
and
you.
he's thinking the way Ben thinks is different, and he's like very stubborn to it. You think you've made someone stubborn? You guys think I'm stubborn? Like, I'm very nice.
Nah, Uncle Ben is stubborn.
So when you become a capital investment to the family, you own an obligation to that home, because when they were trying to put funds together to deny the family a property or whatever, and they sold it, they sold it, and you were moved abroad. Please, for the sake of God, you have rendered yourself as an investment.
So
So
is it to the extent that you should not pay
yes,
because of
at
it's
that
not
point, there
possible.
are two
I
things.
know what
There are
God
two things
doesn't.
you could do.
Our
There are two
God
things you
doesn't
could
do
do.
like that. I
There
don't
are
think
two
our
things
God
you
does
could
like
do
that.
at that point. Either you are replacing that investment that was made on you based on a particular project, or you're going to help to replicate yourself
Sorry, bros.
abroad.
Can I
I
add
agree.
to
I
that? Can
agree
I
with
add to that by
I
saying,
agree with
if
what
you're
you're
not, if
saying.
you're when even when you're replacing it, are you
Yes.
replacing it with the interest because somebody sold a
Exactly.
pass? Hold on, somebody sold a parcel of land to fund your education, to fund your going abroad. They sold a common land. They all agreed. They sold that land. They sent you abroad. Let's say they sold the land in 1974, and
Yes.
then you are coming back to pay back in 1996. Does that include the value of today's property with interest? Why I'm
Like a
saying is,
mortgage.
I'm
It's
happy
not a
you
mortgage.
brought this issue up. I'm not saying anybody should go bear responsibility they shouldn't bear, but you see, this is the context I'm talking about. So sometimes when we come and we're talking about stuff like this, we also need to look. Sometimes the situation has created entitlements in some people, because if they hadn't sold that parcel of land, that car, that house, whatever it is they sold to send you as a community project, you wouldn't be where you are. So you owe some payback. And I hope people will understand it from that context.
I
I'm
don't
not
understand. I
saying,
Yes,
don't
my
understand
I'm
brother.
though.
not
I don't
saying, I'm
understand
not
though.
saying,
I don't
I'm not
understand
saying
though.
I don't
you
understand.
don't
Maybe
have
it's me.
to,
Please,
you
let's
don't have
slow
to
down here.
understand. But the
Please.
You don't
point is
understand.
this.
Okay,
The point is,
please, can I say something? I don't,
Can
I
I
know
paint my
you just
scenario
said,
very well?
no, hold on. You just said that they sold a parcel of land in what year?
Did anybody tell them to? No.
then why
Nothing
did
is
you
by force.
accept? It's easy to say, did
Nothing is
anybody
by
tell them
force, I
to?
beg.
So why you that was collecting the money? Why did you collect the money?
See, I eat back my time. Oh. I eat back my
No,
time.
hold on. Chim has a hold on. Let me understand what you're saying. You gave you sold your land 2000
Okay,
for
Adama,
in
hold on. Let me
2000 in the
explain.
year
Adama, I know
2000.
your question. Let me explain it very well, so we don't waste time. You come from an extended family like
Hey, Ofi.
Uncle Bedo, no vex. I don't come from a very large family. My family is very small, but let's use your own now. So Beno comes from a family of 21 children. And then Beno had a dream to go abroad. They sold their common land. Like, stop laughing and listen. I don't know why you're laughing. Being hysterical.
did you hear the number of children they say you come from?
He knows, but not understand what I'm
That's
saying.
not even realistic. That's
He's
not
not
even
lying,
realistic.
no. He's
Hold
not
on
lying.
now.
My
You
my
see,
daddy
this
has
interject-
21
okay.
children.
Mhm.
21
Chim
children.
doesn't know this. Chim gave a very good number. That's why. Listen,
But I listened to him. He said it.
He mentioned
said
it now.
He mentioned it here. I'm paying attention. I'm not just rambling. I'm listening to what people are saying. Bernard says he comes from a family of 21, and by the time he was born, some people were dead. He met at least 14.
14, yeah.
I was listening. I'm not just talking from talking sake. So let me finish my point. He comes from a family of 21. He had a dream to go abroad. He didn't have money. The other 20 people agreed to sell a common owned property to fund his going abroad. And then you get there and you say, did I ask them? Sorry, the thunder that will fire that person when they decide to fire you is not
Yes, so.
No, why are you saying did you ask? Why are you saying the thunder?
How can you say did you ask them that question? What kind of insensitivity is that? What I'm saying that you shouldn't
the fact
die.
of the matter is most people.
Hold on, can I finish? Then you go on.
Yeah,
please.
because
I've been quiet listening.
Okay,
Now I want
make
to
your
talk.
point, Anna. Make your point then.
Don't interject. Never interjected when you were talking. I take exceptions to that.
Okay, whatever. Just continue.
Please, no. Let's not do
No,
that.
no, it's okay. Don't worry. I've been
please.
quiet. I've been listening for an
Yes, go ahead,
I was
Chim talk.
listening to
Honey, babe,
understand
please
what
don't
was
interject.
I said whatever. Let him talk.
So they've sent you abroad. They've sent you to that abroad. Now it's okay. I'm not saying you should go and die for them, but you need to intelligently pay back, give back in a way that when they see that, okay, you have tried, they're not going to kill you. You can even have the conversation to say, people, you know that it's not as if I have become Bill Gates to come and carry everybody's body, but I appreciate what was done for me. And as a result, that land that was worth 5 million then, I am throwing in, I can afford to give you 50 million now for it. Take. But I hope if I give this, nobody will come back to disturb me. That's the wisdom I'm asking to see from people. Rather than tell me, did I ask them to pay money? Wow. What kind of gratitude is that?
Can I reply to that? Because I purposely said, tell me if you didn't hear me, you can repay people back. I'm of the opinion that, is it going to be to the state? We talk about people that delete because of the pressure of people wanting financial help back home. And I asked the question, is it to the expense that you delete? And for me, yes, you should repay if there was an agreement. Most of the time when people send people to Nigeria, it is the parents' idea because they see that child as an investment to go abroad. I don't think it's the general consensus that the child says, I want to go abroad. It is the parents that have the idea to sell every single thing in order to take for that child to go to the UK. In that point, if the parents have decided without necessarily the consent of the child, then if you are not repaid back, then you need to ask the question, why did you force your child to come to the UK? There's many parents that do that.
And I'm saying if you're going to say that, then don't accept to go. If you're not that wise enough to rationalize
exactly, I agree with that.
Don't
but what I'm saying,
it.
yes, I agree. Yeah, but isn't this the same thing? Isn't this the whole point of this whole show? Family expectations. I can tell my parents no. Not a lot of people can tell their parents no. I don't want to go abroad. It is the whole point of why we're having this show. The expectations where the parents will impose certain things to say, you as my child, I born you, I suffered for 9 months. You as my child, you're obligated to pay me back plus interest according to what was said before. And I'm just pushing back and saying, yes, you have an obligation as a child, but it shouldn't be to the stage where you're deleting yourself. You hear of stories where people are working 50, 60 hours to pay back their parents when there's situations like this, to the extent that they're in one room, they're not eating well because all of their money is going to their parents or to their siblings. And I'm saying that shouldn't be the case. I'm saying send back as much as you can, not to the extent that you delete yourself.
Okay, honey babe, let me understand what you and Chim is saying. Please, everybody hold on so that I can understand as a moderator what is going on. If the land was sold, the land we're talking about, is it a family property or is owned by an individual, your parents, your dad? Or this is a family property?
Your parents' property is family's property now.
No,
No,
now
now
that
my dad's
property can be family property. Now.
And they will not give it to only you because you are what?
No, hold. Can you understand
what I
If my dad sold the land for me to come to the United States, so are you saying that I have to pay him back?
More than that now.
Now, I didn't say your dad. I didn't say your dad. And there's an echo from your side. Maybe there's
I'm
something.
so sorry. Can
There's an
people
echo.
mute?
There's an
Because
echo.
there's a lot of echo.
All right. So I didn't say your dad.
Hold on, Chim. If you're not speaking, can you please mute your mic? If you're not speaking, please mute. Thank you. Go ahead, Chim.
And please, for the guys who understand what I'm saying here, please, at any point I say anything that is incorrect, please correct me. I didn't say your dad. My points were very clear. This is family land in the village in Africa, in Nigeria, in Igbo land where I come from, is community owned. Unless you bought the land personally by yourself, separate land. Land is not owned by one person. It's a communally owned thing. It has not changed because we're in 2025.
So hold on. I understand that. Are you saying my
Okay.
dad personal property, his personal land, is a family, is a community
If
property?
your father bought land, separate land, that's a different thing altogether. And he sells that land he bought to fund you. This is between you and your father. What I'm saying is in an extended family situation, i.e., the kind of situation Uncle Beno has painted for us, 21 of them. That land is not owned by one person, it's owned as a group, as a collective. The collective decided that because Beno, their son, has this lofty dream that can only be fulfilled when he goes to Akata, US, they have decided to make him accomplish that goal. They sell it and then fund him, and he goes and he becomes successful. There is going to be an expectation. If you like, go to Cambridge and change your mindset. There is going to be an expectation that you will pay back in some form.
God bless you.
Now, my own view is simple. Now you are more informed than all of them. Come back home. Show gratitude. The land was worth 15 million when they were funding you. Now it is 20 years after. You come back. Give them 15 million. And then explain why you're doing it so that they'll be able to appreciate it. I don't know if I'm saying anything wrong here.
My brother,
If you're not able
if I
to
can
pay
come
back,
in, please.
I get what you're saying. It makes sense.
If I can come in, please.
You guys,
See,
why are we
my
even
brother,
arguing over this?
Before you come in,
Wait,
No, we're not arguing. Adanma is white.
Answer.
Adanma is white. That's why he's not understanding.
my brother, if I can come in, please. What I think that was Mr. Chim, right? What Mr. Chim said is right. If they sold land to sponsor you abroad, you owe all of them. Let's call it what it is. You owe them. In my own case, nobody sold land to send me abroad. Now my madam, now carry me go abroad. No, dey my plan. Who born me? Born abroad. But just to show that I understand, just to show that I
No, but Ben,
understand.
you're not listening to what I'm saying so that our viewers understand. If you're not able to pay back the money,
That's
for
what
that
I'm
land,
saying. If you don't have
what
the money,
happened?
Okay, so you
Nobody
guys,
see.
let
See.
me say something. Let me
if you
say
don't have the
something.
money, what are you
You
going to
know,
do? Are you
okay,
going to kill them?
my response to your question is if that property was sold, land, whatever was sold, and you were sent abroad, there's a minimum expectation for you to reinvest back home. They do not expect you necessarily to, if land was sold at 10,000, they don't expect you. Why is there a sound?
You're echoing.
Yeah, I'm echoing, but I don't know why though. Because
Now
I
you're
have only
better.
one device on.
Now you're better.
Okay. So they don't expect you to give them back $20,000 just because they sent you with $10,000. But they expect you to take care of lots of expenses within the family, including tuition, somebody's unwell, something is happening. That is how you are actually going to pay back. And that payback could last for a very, very long time. What Honey Babe is saying, I think I want to connect what Honey Babe said to what
Please
Mr. Chim
clarify for
said.
me. They don't understand.
What Honey Babe, stop. What she's saying is you do not it's not outrightly that you must pay them back, even though you are in a way supposed to give back because they invested in you. However, take care of yourself in such a way that you're not going to spend your entire life doing that. I think you should set boundaries where there's a minimum that you can invest back and there's something left for yourself, if I understand what Honey Babe said. So
That's what
you
I'm
have to set
saying.
boundaries.
Exactly.
Set boundaries. Don't delete yourself doing the most for them. Set
Okay,
boundaries and don't show them that you are basically practically living for them. Everything you earn, you're sending back. Don't give them that impression that I have to do this. No, you can still invest back and leave something for yourself.
can I just add
Otherwise
this and
you
then yield
are
the floor for other
yeah,
people to
go
speak?
ahead, go ahead.
Yeah. Okay. So, typical true life example. There's a poor fellow who comes from my community. He's way in his 80s right now. He's a professor, retired professor. His parents were very poor. He was funded by the community because his father died, but he was intelligent. The community women, what in Igbo land they call Umuada, put funds together because his mom was a strong member of that group and funded his education until he became a professor. Do you know how he paid back to the community? When he became a professor, he set up an endowment to train people. At that point, he doesn't need to start giving people penny pie, go to every family and give. But he felt a sense I need to give back to this community that enabled me to accomplish my dreams. What I'm against is when you know stuff like this was done for you, then because now you have inherited the so-called white man's mindset, you now start telling me, I don't owe anybody anything. After, did I beg people to come and fund me? No, you can't do that. That's the point I'm making. I'm not saying you have to necessarily that's taking every family, giving them 2K. No, you need to look for an intelligent way to give back.
Yeah, and I think we all understand that and we appreciate that. So everybody has a different way of giving back. But I think what that professor did was the best thing to do under the circumstances.
All right, Ben, have
All
you
right.
finished your
Adanma, sorry, before,
I
minutes?
don't know. Whenever I speak like this, everywhere go just catch fire. Wait till they
Yeah,
happen.
because you know what you're doing.
What am I doing?
You
Ben,
know what you're doing.
Ben,
Hey, wow. Okay. Oh.
Yeah, so
Ben,
what?
Yes, it's not true.
mind yourself.
No
So
baton.
Ben, can you finish what you're saying
Okay.
so
Let
that
me go after Ben. I'll wait after Ben.
So what
Ben,
I'm saying is
I'm giving you no more than 2 minutes, and I'm timing you because if I leave
Mudano.
you talk from now till Monday, so I'm timing you 2 minutes.
Mudano. Okay. What I'm just saying is that you have to be strategic when you want to give back. In my own case, nobody said land to send me to abroad. But some people did something that has nothing to do with me coming to abroad, but I actually contributed to who I am today. For instance, my elder sister, she raised me from 3 years old when my dad passed. She used to tie me with herself wherever she go, even until she got married or everything. So that way she invested in me one way or the other. Even in my family right now, if you put me in midst of my family people, I'm still very, very different. Even my mindset to how I reason everything, I'm so different, and it's because of how my sister raised me. Now, I spoke about one of my stepsisters. I have many of them. That my stepsister, when I was going to the university, I funded myself all through my university. Even my wife knows about that. But this my stepsister, she is the only one who will buy gari, rice, and beans. She go tie them for what they call this plastic bag, poly bag. So we tie it and give it to driver. She lives in Ikotun. I was living at Ojo. She will give it to driver all through my schooling days. Every now and then, when she get money, she will do that. So even before I came to US, I've been making money in Nigeria. And the moment God opened my path that I started making money, what I did was first off, I picked one of my auntie son, my nephew. He's not the first, but he's more or less like the smartest in terms of hustling. So I pick him. He started living with me. My uncle that raised me, I've spoke about my uncle so many times. I only spent about 3 years with him. But my uncle taught me life lessons that shape me even till now. So what I did, I literally brought 3 of his children to Lagos to live with me when I was living in one room with rug and foam thrown on the rug. They lived with me for about 4 years till I set everybody up. So when I got to the US, everybody was jubilating. Ah, you don't travel, money don't come. So even when I got to the US, I have this sense of responsibility that I have to take care of everybody. And I already told you how that almost ruined me. So after I have my wake up call, what I started doing was like, for each of them that are bugging me, disturbing me, I will now look for their kids, the smarter one. Some of them, I pay school fees. I'm still paying school fees right now. But what I did for majority of them is that after their university education, I started paying for their extra skills. For instance, there is one of my younger one that I actually told him, with your accountancy, you won't get jack. What you have to do is to go and acquire digital marketing skills. I paid over 250,000 naira, and that was in 2019. That boy is a big boy now. I can count up like 8 of them that I set
Okay.
up like that. So
Mm-hmm.
what I did, the way me I pay back was I finance skill set. I don't
Mm-hmm.
even do business. The ones that I open business for, now chop they chop the money. So I will
Okay.
train you and then I set you up and then I provide mentoring. But right now, as I did like this, if you come my DM, go talk, say your mama flood carry and go. I go tell you, may you go wait for where the flood go drop the mama, may you go pick them up. I ain't sending no shit. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Natu, I'm going to have you say something, then we'll all have our final submission, then we'll call it tonight. Natu, go
Okay,
ahead.
so before I say what I want to say, I just want to address something I saw in the comments. Someone was saying that if you're doing well, why restrict what you can do for your parents? Blah blah blah. Let me explain something to you. It's not everybody's parents that are understanding. Some parents are users. Do you understand? And if you don't know how to draw boundaries, some parents will drain you until there's no blood left in you. And you have to understand that. So if you know that you have those kind of people in your group, you have to know how you operate with them. They only know what you give them, but you try to make them feel that you can chip in every situation. Let me give you one scenario. There's a girl that came to school in America a year and a half ago, and she got a family, a white family in the church that she goes to, that let them stay with her so she doesn't pay rent. And the church is helping with her school fees. Her parents sent her to America with that school fees. Now, by luck, she take off. But she started working. This girl started chipping in money back home for almost everything. Let me tell you, now shall we remember that girl go do now? The way her father is demanding for money. Your daughter is in school. It's not like she's working full time. But because she has showed them that she can help with almost everything that they need. The father is going for somebody's chieftaincy title, he need money. One cousin is getting married, he wants to sponsor her send forth. He wants to sponsor, he doesn't have money. So he wants the daughter to bring the person that is going to school and working and just chipping in. So the point that we're making here, we're not saying anybody should restrict. If you like, go and give them your 401k. It's not our business. But don't come and be asking for GoFundMe. There are some parents that are ingrates. There are some parents that are users. You have to know what category your own fall into. In my own situation, my mom can never call us and say there's no food in her house. She can never come and tell you there is no this thing in my house. But because we shop for her every 2 months, sometimes we just know and it clicks in our head because our mother she's an empath too. That it has reached time to restock for this month. She can never call you and tell you no. In some family, it doesn't apply like that. I have never taken stuff back home when I was doing business for them to help me sell. For my mom, my younger sister, my brother's wife to sell, I don't get my money back. If I try to sell it myself, I don't get my money back. If they sell it, they get my money back for me, and they don't hold anything back. So I felt lucky on that side. One of my friends tried to do business 3 times, brought stuff to Nigeria over 25K, 3 different occasions. She didn't go up with $1,000. So family dynamics are different. So what we're saying and preaching today is that you just know the kind of family that you come from. And then you also have to look out for yourself. Because the other day, people that are close to me, I was sharing the other day, you just log into work one day and they will tell you that today is your last day. What plans do you have for yourself? You're sending all money back home. In America, at least you have to have 6 months, your upkeep 6 months kept in case if anything happens. Because if you lose your job tomorrow, you're not getting a job next tomorrow automatically. So the point that we're making is that we're saying that take care of yourself. Make sure that your life is also well planned for. We're not saying don't take care of people like that professor did, that he set up that fund. So people might not get to set up that fund. If you have siblings, maybe have a role with school fees. Make sure that okay, every 4 months, I'm providing school fees and everything they need for school. I'm not going to be sending money every month because I don't have. You can also tell them, oh, I'm going to school too. So I might not have money to send every month, but I've planned 4 months ahead.
Thank
So
you.
they know that anybody that's asking you for money or anything, they can ask you in advance.
Mhm.
Before, I used to do spontaneous giving, but now I used to tell them, if you want anything, if you don't give me 2 months or 3 months ahead of time, you can't get it. I'm
Thank you
sorry.
so much. Thank you. Thank you. Well said, Sister Natu. Madam Luke, I'm going to come to you. If you have anything to add, then we'll have our final submission. I think everybody spoke so well. Like, I'll go back to what my father always say, and he always say this in Igbo, and this is how every one of us, his kids, grew up. He always say in Igbo, "Onwe him kwu ụmụ means I didn't plan anything on my kids.
Adanna, please, I'm coming. Please. Mr. Oscar, I'm not trying to disrespect you. There's nothing wrong with your assertion. I have home training, and that's why I'm talking to you the way I'm talking to you. If I want to leave my home training outside and talk to you, you'll never come on this live again. Do you understand what I'm saying? I'm just trying to tell that there are different category of people. There's nobody that says you not help your family. That's what I'm saying. But if
Yeah.
comprehension is a problem for you,
Why
well,
are
you
you
might need another
to
platform.
me tonight? Please, no. Okay, thank you. Please, can we be respectful in the comment section? Like the way my fingers is going, I don't want to do any blocking. Please, you guys, can we just be, we are grown adults. Like, you don't have to like what Adanma says or Natu says. Like, you don't, must you comment? Like, can't you just ignore? Well, like I was saying, my dad always say I didn't plan anything on my kids, and not to just made a statement. I've always said this to people. See, these kids, if you can't plan on your own, maybe it's my mindset. Or listen, at the end of the day, let's just learn to take care of ourselves first before taking care of someone else. And yes, we do have some parents who are like entitled, including siblings. So please, you know your situation better than I do. My situation is not your situation. But like I always say, children know their parents, parents should know their children. Plan accordingly. So my parents know Adanma. Adanma knows our parents. So we understand each other. It works like that for me. So at the end of the day, please, whatever you're doing, please take care of yourself.
You good see, Dr. Adama Mike don't come out.
You think say my mic don't come out? I can hear you well. I can hear you. Madam, look, what do you have to add to this? I know you say you're about to go to bed, so let's do that. Do you have anything more to add before we have our final submission? Madam Luke, are you there?
Yes, I'm here. What were we talking about, please?
Oh, you don't when you wrote this, I ignored. Please, we are talking about all of the above. How can we do better? That's what we are talking about.
Okay, how can we do better?
Mm-hmm.
They say
Yes, ma'am.
man proposes, God disposes. Number one, when you bring a child into this world, you have your duty. You are bound by duty to get that child up to the position where the child can stand on his feet or her feet. That is number one. Because we all know minors cannot fend for themselves. What are the basics? The basics are such that you have to go be at least 18 to be able to fly out of your parents' house. Are Nigerian parents doing that? On the long run, I would say no. They are not. So how do they expect the children to fend for themselves? Number two, can the parents afford to do that? So that let's just take away the fact that they have too many children and they're burdened that they can't take care of it. Okay, even if they have only one, can a Nigerian under the economic climate now, what kind of salary can those poverty-stricken parents use to even train that one child? Given that the poverty level is such that many, I would say 2/3 of the people in Nigeria earn less than 100,000 naira. Where in the world, what, I'm just trying to set a scenario where to say, how can we do better? And I'm trying to find the root cause of all the problems we're having here. And I'm going to go back to the fact that we have an economically decayed society where my father, I kept telling you, my father retired at 39 because it got to the point where it was either he went to work or he had to leave his children at home. And leaving his children at home was not an option. You don't have too many men like that. And as a result of that, he had to suffer economically because he was a single parent. But thank God my mom was able to pick up the slack. But we don't have that kind of situation many times in Nigeria because even when parents are able to, the economic climate is not enough. Look at where in Abuja we have medical doctors who are not being paid for 9 months. You have teachers who have not been paid for a year. Please, how do we do better? Is it in your power to do better? Many people are jackpotting. People are selling their property to leave Nigeria. How do you cope? Even those that don't have children cannot even cope. Not to talk of those with children. So going back to what I'm saying, can these things be avoided? Sometimes yes, and sometimes no. We have some people who are lazy. Even if it's to go and find something to do, they will not do it. That is where the sense of entitlement comes in. But what do you do about your minor children? The government has failed you. You cannot work. You can't get your income. Even to get your pension is a problem. Okay, you put the children through school. They decide that it's Yahoo they want to do. And they will fail on their own because they fall by the wayside. How do we do better? I don't know. Because sometimes it's not even in your hands to do better.
Okay.
So if you don't know your hands to do better, what do? That means you're raising a generation and a place where the burden is going to always be on you and you're always going to make the wrong choices because the opportunities to improve yourself is not there. Here, if you don't go to college, you go to trade school. What places do you, what are the places? What are the programs put in place for both parents and children to empower themselves?
Okay.
So please, the last thing I would say, self-care first. It's only if you can take care of yourself, you can take care of anybody. Anybody, the parents or the children, you have to put yourself first before any other person. If you're making sacrifices to put others before you, then you're a fool.
Okay. Thank you. And Madam Luke, I hope we all are tuning for next week, part 2. We are going to be dealing with this issue, particularly on the people in the diaspora. As much as we've spoken and say, oh, people back home, they are not doing this, they're not taking care of themselves. How are you going to educate them and all this stuff? Well, I'm going to shock you all with all your level of educations and everything. You all are doing too much in the diaspora. So next week is going to be diaspora edition of this topic. So let's get ready. So we are all we speak eloquently. We know the right thing to do. But guess what? Next week we're going to be addressing our issues with our own kids here in the diaspora next week. So I hope you guys join us next week. So I will unpack that when it comes
But
to.
will you let us do Bass Bush that next week? Are we going
Bass
to
Boss
do
go dey
Bass
next week.
Bush?
Bass
Okay.
Boss go dey next week because now the topic where you did like. That's both good day next week. So with that
I
being
don't
said,
want peace. I don't want
you
peace.
don't, with that being said, honey babe, what is your final submission for the night?
I think my final submission is maybe from my point of view, I'm based in a diaspora. My mum and dad met in the late 70s, so I don't have the same experience of a lot of people on this panel. Maybe that's why there's a disconnect and people are taking certain things literally. But I'm of the opinion personally that do as much as you can. I personally believe that it's all about, like I said, the analogy of the plane where you have turbulence and you have the face mask. They say to you, fix your own face mask first before you help anybody. And I think my point of view is that you need to be at a place where you're financially, well, I use the word that people say like you shouldn't use, financially sound. Obviously, there's a spectrum in terms of financially sound. But what I'm saying to you is that you can't give what you don't have. And I think if it gets to a stage, even if there is an obligation because someone sold land, if you don't have it, what are you going to do? Are you going to be deleted because of it? If you have the money and someone sent you abroad and there was that agreement and they're able to succeed, then fine. But there's a lot of stories where people sold land, went all the way to the UK, the US and Canada, and it didn't work. And unfortunately, that money has been wasted. So we need to think about those stories as well. There's always this assumption that there has been a success story. There's a lot of stories with what I've said where it doesn't go that way. What do you do? I think there is the conversation in terms of what Madam Luke said, that we need to fix the problem in terms of having infrastructure, having education, having good schools. That needs to be looked at as well. But I'm of the opinion that from, even thinking about what Abby said in terms of that, I know she doesn't say it in a negative way, but because there's her as being a firstborn, and when she mentioned anxiety, it really hit me because I've been through that, but that has got nothing to do with pressures. That's been other stuff. So it can be very dangerous where we're all saying you're obligated, you're obligated, you're obligated. We need to think about you as a whole person and you as in terms of your mental health. And if it gets to a stage where there's so much pressure because you're obligated, quote unquote, you really need to check yourself because you don't want to be 6 feet under or in a mental asylum or have issues with your mental health, all because you're obligated, or the black tax and everything. So I think that's something to be really looked at. And maybe people can say to me that, oh, I don't understand. I don't personally understand because a lot of it doesn't impact me. Like I said, I was born and brought up in the UK, all of my siblings. And like I said, my parents are very, my dad, as you know, got his own stuff. But my mum, as you know, she's got good investments. She's married again. Her husband has got a great pension. So she doesn't have that. Everything, she has investments in place. She has things in trust. I know I'm going to inherit property from her and her husband. So I'm in a good place. But I know not everyone's
Remember me,
like that. Sorry, I'm in a good place because my mum luckily educated herself financially. And that was help from us because obviously I work in investment banking. So I was able to advise her to get a good financial advisor. I know not everybody's in the same situation as me, but I'm just trying to say, do as much as you can. No more, no less. And like I said, you can't give what you don't have. And I personally believe your mental health is very, very important. Don't allow anyone to pressure you just because they're family to give what you don't have. So that's just the end of my summation. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. If you finish your summation, could you please exit so that way I don't have to remove you? Femo, your next. What is your final summation, bro?
Okay, so because because you also played that second video that we didn't
You see
necessarily.
how they just ignore it? It's Ben. It's Ben that I'll blame it on. But leave it. Just act like if you want to pick back that on your final summation, go ahead.
You already blamed him on my behalf. I was gonna start that way, but in any case, in a way, it kind of still ties to what we're talking about. So like I just felt like the lady, for example, speaks to what a lot of Africans or Nigerians would be wise to want to actually pay attention to. As much as a lot of us, if not everyone, desires to have kids, you also want to be honest with yourself that we live in a different age where hopefully people are a lot more enlightened enough to realize that it's not just about them now. Because whilst it could be relative when it comes to how much money is enough money, however, I remember once when again, I'll use something that's personal to me. I remember once when my elder sister got pissed with the last of my sisters about having too many kids. I mean, she ended up with three, but at some point, she had a miscarriage, and that was when she really got pissed off. Like, what's wrong with you guys? Like, it wasn't even as if they were the most financially buoyant ever. I mean, they're not necessarily suffering, but there's this thing about you want to take care of the number of you want to have the number of kids that you can take care of, and if you're being honest with yourself, when you even look at the indices of how much it takes to raise a child, again, you don't necessarily have to be the richest person in on earth. However, when you bring a child to earth, the child did not ask to be born. So you want to be careful that, and I know things happen sometimes. Things happen. I mean, the myriads of stories of people that were doing pretty well, and all of a sudden, I mean, I'm not even talking about that. But even when we do go that route, that doesn't necessarily. I mean, I'm not advocating. I'm not trying to control people's lives. But again, you don't want to like start heading kids around like chickens. This is not like the year 1960 when people could claim ignorance, or like Madam Luke said earlier. It's not like people are necessarily going to farms like it used to be in the olden days. So I guess finally, I think again, uh, one wants to think about himself, himself or herself, their sanity, their mental health, very important. And again, ultimately, you want to like not out of selfishness, you got to take care of yourself first.
Thank you so much, Femi. I appreciate it. Chim and Madam Luke, you're going to speak last. So if you finish speaking, could you please exit? Misty, you're next. What is your final submission? Thank you. Misty, what's your final submission?
Hi. So for me, I feel like my parents, I'm sharing my personal experience. My parents gave me everything and the best of everything they could give me to put me through school, and until the point where I was really able to take care of myself. And I feel like I have felt and cannot forget that I have to take care of my parents, and that is because of the relationship I've had with my parents. My mom, unfortunately, like I mentioned earlier, she's not here, but I have had to do everything to make sure that she's okay, my dad is okay, and stuff like that. It's not like they demanded for me to do that, but I just felt like I needed to do that because they really, really took care of me and everybody else. um I'm trying to connect that to what Natu said. Natu said, take care of your parents, but know what kind of parents you have. We all know what kind of parents we have. Sometimes you may not be lucky enough to, you may have parents who, they want to take on extra projects that are not even related to them. And maybe they just want to show, and they want you to be funding all these things. You don't need to carry on those projects that you don't have to. They want to create projects for you that you don't need to take care of. You're possibly struggling to make sure everything is working out for your family, especially for those of us in the diaspora. You don't need to shoulder those unnecessary projects, so you need to have boundaries. For in my case, I am I'm such a giver, and I'm an empath as well. So I struggle with boundaries because I always feel like, you know, somebody in the village, they'll tell you how ill a neighbor is, and their hospital bill is possibly only $200, but somebody is probably going to delete because they don't have money to get treatment in the hospital. I'm always thinking, I can take care of that. What would it mean for me to just ignore that, and then somebody passes on, and then I have to then contribute to, you know, the burial and stuff like that. So it's something that I guess I struggle with, but generally, I like everybody has already said before, try to take care of yourself, try to be in a good place before you can give. With some of us, it's an ongoing struggle, but hopefully we can get there and be better for ourselves. Thank you, everybody. I feel like everybody really had great points to put forward. So I appreciate that. And I've learned a lot from the panelists and those who are in the comment section. I appreciate that. Good night and take care. I hope we speak again tomorrow or next weekend. Thank you.
All right,
Thank you,
Miss.
Dr. A.
Thank you so
Sorry,
much for joining
sorry,
us.
I beg, Dr. Adama no verse. I hope Misty no send invoice because if not me now, she go send invoice. No verse.
So Beno, you have
What does this have
problems.
to do
No,
with you?
no, no, Dr. A, let me finish. Dr. A will pay me without me sending an invoice. For you, you
Drop
have a
the
problem
mic.
with me. You preempt me not to get my payments and all of these things. I don't need to remind Dr. A about the invoice. She'll just send me the payment. Isn't that a beautiful thing? Uncle
Miss,
Beno, you'll be all
I love
right. Love you guys too.
you.
Good
Thank
night. Take
you
care,
so much. Have a
everyone.
good
Bye
night.
bye. You too. Good
Abby,
night.
what is your final submission?
Hi.
Abby, sorry, eh? This time is not friendly where you are, but it's okay. It is well. I know you're doing it for love. I love you too.
Love you. Anyway, I would say the first thing is to acknowledge your limits. You need to be very honest with yourself. There's absolutely no point pushing yourself to your absolute limits. It's just not worth it, even for the people that are dependent on you. They need you to be alive to do the little that you can. I also say it's important that you communicate your boundaries, be transparent about your boundaries. You just never know. I know there's families that just don't want to hear that you can't help, but I think you're better off communicating your boundaries. I have this weird situation that happened with an ex of mine where obviously for my own selfish interests, I felt like a good idea because he's the breadwinner of his family. I felt like a good idea would have been to create something that would remit money to his family. So luckily his family live in quite a prominent, one of those old money kind of situations, but the money has finished. So they live in a prominent area of Lagos, and and we figured that they have a lot of space in their compound. So I thought I came up with a brilliant idea for them to build a couple self-con um or studio flats, and within the premises we found a way to have like a separate entrance way, all of that stuff. And at the time, this was a couple years ago, at the time when the surveyor came, they told us that it would be around 2.5 million naira every year. So, and they said they could build three of them. And, so I did the math and I thought to myself, for a family that doesn't, they're retired, they don't need much else besides just things for electricity because they own the house, so they don't need rent. So 7.5 million naira across the year, divided by 12 will go a long way for what they wanted. Because at this point, I'm trying to build a family with this person. It makes sense for your family to be slightly independent so that at least what we would have to do, since we're going to be having our own kids, is just presents and extra if needed, but not that their daily expenses or their monthly expenses, wouldn't be available to them. And it turned out that they were not very happy about that because it kind of got relayed in a bad way. So again, I say this to say that sometimes you might have to create a long-term goal just to relieve yourself slightly. That is what I thought at the time was the smart thing to do. And quite frankly, I would do it again if I ever found myself in that situation. Create something that can, if you have the money, at the time, this particular guy used to get money in bulk, like come from contracts and stuff. So he could spare, for instance, like $50,000 to start the contract because that's how we got money. So my mentality was, instead of spending this money on certain things, how about you do this now so that you can relieve yourself long term? So I would say that's also something that can be explored if you have money, and do something that can create a business to give back to these people rather than having to, put that pressure on yourself on a regular basis, and then know that anything else you give them is just extra or presents or, Merry Christmas, Happy Birthday kind of thing. So that's all I have to say.
Thank you, my darling. Have a good night, okay?
Good night, everybody. Thanks for having me.
All right, I will talk to you later. I love you.
Nighty nighty.
I'm going to come to you, Sister Natu. What is your final submission, ma'am?
Okay. Let me bring my home
That's
training
what you
back.
did good today. You know what normally happen doesn't.
Yeah.
Just
That's
give
why,
information.
I have a lot of my favorite people on the panel, so I'm trying to explain
You don't need to
myself.
tell me. They are here now. They are here. They are here. I see them.
So I'm just calming down so that they will not say this girl is wayward, don't have home training. So I'm going
I
to start
beg
my
you, that is the
submission.
least person that you cannot, we can't give you that kind of title. That's not your title, please.
I love you,
That's
Madam
what they
Love.
say.
Thank you.
You. That is my title now. Have they
Huh?
given it to you?
They have given it to me. Oh. Oscar has given me, say I don't have home training. What will I say? And I'm telling you, what I'm talking about, some family that are users. I had a cousin. I used to do Uber to give that girl money. When I started realizing that she was using me, when I sent that girl to the store to get stuff for my parents, I don't give her a cap of what to get for herself. I just said, get whatever you're getting for yourself and send me the bill. She, just for herself and her son, when she sends me her bill, it's almost my parents' bill. I'm not making this up. So when I realized, I started cutting her off. What did she say? She said that if she's sick or something happen, I don't give her money, that she'll pray to God. God will send somebody to give her. And she said to me, charity begins at home because I'm running a foundation. So that means that if I'm running a foundation, that I have money to give people, or I have money to do foundation, I have money to give people. And that's the mentality people are not getting. So for me, starting that foundation is not because I have money. It's because of the number of family members that I keep losing to breast cancer that I started that. But people are not getting that. But that's by the way. So I'm going to start my submission by using Uber as an example. If you have a car and you're an Uber driver, sorry, and you use that Uber to get money to send to your people, there are some of the things that you have to consider, because you have to consider what kind of car you have. If it's not a brand new car, your car might have problem at some point that you have to fix. Are you setting money aside for that? You have to pay insurance every month. Are you setting money aside for that? You have to buy fuel every time you're going. Are you setting money aside for that? So if every time money is coming, you are sending it down to people, the day your car breaks down, what are you going to do? That's the source of income that you're getting money to give to those people. Do you understand what I'm saying? So you have to be able to maintain and be fueling that source of income that you're having. So if you are working and you have a 9 to 5, and you are the source of the income that you're getting and giving to those people, you have to make sure that you are always in good shape to be able to keep up to that commitment that you're doing. But if you feel that you have to keep working like Jackie every day just because you have to please people, you're up for a long run. I'm telling you that. And I'm sharing this experience because my dad has been through that. My dad has lived his life taking care of his kids and his siblings and his nephews and nieces. But when he retired and when the chips went down, there was no money. He was left with just his kids. I'm telling you that that thing lives rent free in my head. It's still, I'm finding a way to forgive those people, but I don't know. God will help me. So that's the point that I'm making when I keep saying that you have to know the category of people that you're working with. Some people are just users. Some people, I have one auntie that doesn't know that my mom get allowance every month. She knows that we take care of our parents. But every time she asks my mom for money, and my mom says I don't have, she'll now come and message me and say, Nash, it's like your mommy is broke. I'll just be laughing because that's not her business. She probably didn't know I just sent my mom the money last week. My mom has money but doesn't have money to give her for what she wants, and that's not what she's not getting. So the point I'm saying that you have to take care of yourself. You have to follow that source of income. If you are the source of income, you have to make sure you take care of yourself. Make sure you eat right. do your exercise, take care of yourself, buy the necessary things that you need to buy so that you can keep working and keep helping those people. You also have to set boundaries like other people have talked about. You have to do investment for the long run. It's not everybody that you set up business for in your family. There's some people that set up business, they spend the money. Some people are good with salary. So if you want to say that, okay, every 3, 4 months, I'm going to give this person this amount, that's fine. I'm going to take care of the person's child's school fees, that's fine. But if you want to say that you want to be an ATM machine, everyday ATM machine, well, we are praying for you. So that doesn't amount to lack of home training if you're not able to do that or you're able to set boundaries. Because I think one thing that we Africans have problems in setting boundaries. And when Misty was talking, I think I fall in the same category with Misty because I'm telling you, I'm a retired MPAD. I just got baptized this year and I collected my baptism certificate. So people are having problem dealing with it. But
Wahala,
that
wahala.
yes, I've been baptized, Uncle Ben. I'm telling you now, I have every yep. Every month I know what I once I reach that, that's it. I just say I don't have, and people get shocked when I say I don't have. And then let me end up this by saying, before now, every year I used to make a minimum of 50 birthday cakes for nephews and nieces and cousins because I'm heavy on birthdays. I'm not joking. Every year, minimum 50 birthday cakes I used to order. But this year, I think I did only like 3 or 4 so far, or maybe 5. That's the maximum, and that's it for the year. Okay, for my mom coming August 25th, and that's it. We're done. So, like, you have to learn to, like, and I'm going to be 43 this year, so I don't even have time no more. Do you understand what I'm saying? So, that's just the point I'm making. You have to take care of yourself. I'm not saying that if you have enough, don't take care of people. Some people don't even know how to give. That's the funny thing. So, even if they have more, they will not, they'll still not give. So, just because you are a giver, don't let people use your head. There's one thing that people that have been using with me in the past that I woke up to. So because they know that like I'm a TTC, if they want me to contribute something that has to do with kids, they'll be using that. Oh, you know this person's child is doing this thing. I want you to contribute it so that God will remember you. Oh, we're having children's stuff in our church. My cousin said I should buy chairs so that every child that sits on the chair. It was after I bought the chairs that I remembered. I'm like, Natu, what did you do? Do you understand what I'm saying? So people coming here to come and say that when you have enough, what is wrong in helping others? Y'all can talk for all you want. I remember I got to work one day and they told me that, oh, today is going to be your last day. What if I didn't plan for that? Or maybe I don't have a husband that will give me money. Do you understand what I'm saying? So y'all can say what you want. With my lack of home training, I'm gonna be good. But I love all of you. Peace out, Chim. Have a good weekend, bro. Ben. Madam, look, your girl remains loyal. Have a good
Love you,
weekend.
sis.
Sudden, I love you.
Love you, sis. Not to.
All right,
Love
thank you,
you
Natu. Good
too.
night.
Have a
Love,
good
good
night.
night.
Uncle Ben, what is your submission?
Hmm.
Hmm.
Everybody have spoken well. Why you dey do Dr. Adana?
I just
Okay.
said, something was on my throat. I had to drink water.
Drink the water. Drink Don Pedro. Well, everybody has spoken very well. What I would just say as my last submission is this: help people when you can, but don't do that at the detriment of your family. I will just speak to my brothers. I'm not a firstborn, but I'm a lastborn. So pardon me, but let me just speak to my brother for my submission. Help people back home. If God put it in your heart to help and you have the capacity and ability to help. But please don't do too much that your own immediate family will be the one to suffer for it. I see this mistake a lot. A lot of people are so into, oh, let me impress them at home, let me do this, let me do that. And then when you look at their life here in the diaspora, it's a mess. They are living in some low grade apartment, yet they are building mansion at home, yet they are the one paying every school fees and everything. It's good. And like one of my brothers said earlier, if they sell property land to send you abroad, you owe them. Oh. If you no do for them, they go buy you, they will unalive you. But please, before you start sending all your money home, trying to please everybody, ask yourself, is my family doing well where I live? So please take care of your family where you live first. Don't go overboard. If based on your income, all you can afford to spare every month is $300, just do that. But first of all, are your children okay here? Is your wife okay here? Or are you settling your family so much that your wife is the one who is carrying the burden here in abroad? Because at the end of the day, if you try to settle everybody back home and your immediate family are suffering here, you won't have good life. Oh. You will never have rest. Oh. You won't have peace of mind. Help people. And that is why I'm preaching strategy. Look at your family members. Who are the people who need the help the most? More importantly, your dad, your mom. If you know they are not well off, take care of them. Please do. Many of our parents back home, the money to take care of them is not even much. If you can get them a good healthcare clinic where they can go for checkup, if you can buy their food, do it. Okay, good. You want to build a house for them. Do you have the money to do that now? I know of people who are building houses for their papa, their mama. Even the papa, mama don't buy before they finish the house. And here in abroad, they are having issue with their family. Them and their wife, they are fighting every day because money no day. Now excuse up and down. Please make sure you take care of your immediate family first. Make sure you settle them. Even if you don't have money to do that much, but make sure they are fine. They are good. Your wife may not be complaining, but if you are suffocating her, after a while, those family you are taking care of, by the time your wife begins show you abroad shaggy, those family will not be here. So my final take is just like that. Help when you have the ability to do. Don't go and pie yourself trying to impress people back home. Those people back home no send your papa, they no send your mama. Many of them are appalling. I share my own story when I went to Nigeria the last time. All the people in my DM, hey brother, this one don't happen. Hey aburo, that one don't. When I got to Nigeria, if you see their houses, if you see their cars, shock, you go shock. So please take care of your own family here first. Make them comfortable. Now, when you have extra, go ahead and do I'm the breadwinner. But bros, if you know say you are not an akara winner in abroad, don't prove to people in Nigeria that you are a breadwinner. They will take care of themselves. If you do too much, you are going to be breeding people who will depend on you. They will just be looking out for you every month. Oh, you go send money. And guess you what? If you no send that money, 5 months, 1 year, nothing will happen to them. So please make sure your wife is good. Make sure your children are good. Even you yourself, make sure you are living good here in abroad. I went to vacation where I went to. I saw a lot of men that look like me. They are family men. They all brought their families there 3 children, 2 children, 4 children. When I see those men, even me, when my sister they laugh, say, hey, I get 1 pack, I don't get 6 pack. I was like the local champion because now my own 1 pack, nice small pack. The rest of the men, they are one pack, it big past my own. And I was happy to see them because they are giving their wife, their children, the life they desire. So please help if you can, but make sure you have the capacity and ability to do that. Don't let them force you. Do it at your own will. And finally, learn to say no
How many times
when
did you
it is
say finally?
important. Dr. Adama, finally learn
Mm-hmm.
to say
Let it be the
no.
finally.
Thank you. Thank you. I know say you they pursue me. I not go buy you Don Pedro again. Thank
You
you,
will still
everybody,
buy
for
them. You will
having me.
still buy them. Love you, Uncle
Thank you,
Ben.
Dr.
Thank you for
Adama.
your
Love you,
final
Mama.
submission. Thank you. Have a good night. Madam Luke, what is your final submission, Mama?
Why are you leaving Uncle Tim out? Let Uncle
No,
Tim
you'll
talk.
be last, or you'll be last. What is your final submission?
Okay. All right. Final submission. Everybody has spoken well. You know, like I said, we have been talking about people who are unburdened. Firstborn or middleborn or secondborn, or if you have a burden, you have a burden. So it's not necessarily the firstborn because usually most firstborns now are not even able to. So the fact that they're firstborns, it doesn't necessarily default to them that they are the ones carrying the burden. It only defaults to whoever is the strongest in the family, either an Adao or the first daughter or the middle child, is whoever is stronger. And usually the burden is usually too much for one person. So I always advocate a collaboration of the family members, like Mr. Chim said. You people should talk it out, divvy it out in the smallest capacity that you can. Even if you're not bringing money, okay, who is staying with mama? Who is staying with papa? Or who is? So I believe in division of labor when it comes to taking care of these responsibilities in Nigeria. But I will always push back to the fact that there are no facilities or programs in place for you to empower yourself. So even if you want to take care of those children, even if there's only one, you cannot do it because the opportunities you have there in Nigeria will not allow you to maximize your potential. Case in point, I've already mentioned those doctors who haven't been paid. Is it for lack of trying that they could not feed their families? Is it for lack of... Listen, the Nigerian economy has turned everybody into a beggar. Everybody is a beggar. Forget those ones that are, when you see their houses, how many of them get... See, we are talking about only 30% of those people in Nigeria. When you come to your innermost circle of family members, how many of them are doing well? How many? Not many. So, because of that, I see the struggles. I know people of my family members who are employed. By the time they get their pay, they're already in debt. Because it takes so long for people to get paid in Nigeria. You will work for like 6 months, you still haven't received a drop of paycheck. What do you expect them to do? Is it because they did not work? So we oversimplify this problem in Nigeria. And you think the Nigerians are the ones that are causing the problem because they have a sense of entitlement? Yes, but those are only very few. Most Nigerians are living in abject poverty, not for lack of trying, but because the government has failed them. Do you know what it is to owe somebody for 9 months and 1 year? How do you expect them to feed? Before I yield, I will say so. I am at the point where I have lived a good life. And I have never, in all my peers, all the people I grew up with, I don't know anybody that is suffering this firstborn problem. This must be a new culture. Because like I said, when I was growing up, it was unheard of. My grandfather, I told you, had 30 children. There's none of them that carried a firstborn body or middleborn body. None of them carried that. So this must be a new generation, Babangida and downwards era, because like I said, it was unheard of. In the 70s, the 80s, the 90s, it was unheard of. So I will defer everything back to the government and the Nigerian situation because they are not empowering people to take care of themselves. You have no pension plan. You have no retirement benefits. How in the world are you going to cope? So in that note, I yield. Whatever you can do to help people, you can do to help them. I will not see my family members suffering in Nigeria and I won't help them because I know it's not their fault. So whatever you can do, you do. When they know you don't have, they will sympathize with you don't have. Only a wicked relative will keep asking and asking and asking and push you to the wall instead of praying for you and help you, using what you gave them to sow the right seed. So do what you can, but take care of yourself first. The day you cannot have, your family members will understand that you don't have. You don't have to carry that burden alone. Thank you.
Thank you so much, ma'am, Madam Luke. I'm going to, can you please exit?
Good night, everybody. Love you much.
Good night, Madam Luke. Chim, what is your final submission?
Okay, thank you. It's difficult to know where to start on, and since especially I didn't start with you guys, which is why I wanted to listen first. But I will simply say to each how it pans out and works for them. I don't think there's anything to fight or struggle over. Everybody has a peculiar situation. We all come from different homes. There are people who from the onset. I'm very high on this. Your parents trained you to be independent, take care of yourself, drummed it into your ears, don't depend on your siblings. It has worked out for you. That's beautiful. There's nothing wrong in it. But there are also other homes where they were trained to support each other. There was an emphasis on have each other's back. And I'm not saying have each other's back as just comment. Have each other's back. It also worked for them. I guess for me, where like Madam Luke said, and that's one thing she said that I picked out and I agree with. There are people who may just not be understanding at all. They will be grab it, always asking. Their asking for help would never end. At that point, when you have identified such people, it's always okay to say no to them. I am very lucky. My parents gave me an education up until a master's degree. I didn't fund it. They funded it for me. I don't know what student's loan is. I only came to this abroad to know what that is student's loan. I don't have a problem with it, but my parents funded my education. I saw my parents sell things that they felt they didn't need when they needed extra cash to pump into my education. So to that degree, I do not just owe them an obligation. I will do it breaking my back until the day they go 6 feet, as the Lord calls them. I will do it. It's only if I don't have that I will not do it. But that being said, doesn't mean I haven't said no to my own parents. I have had causes to say no to them. For instance, your friend in Nigeria is asking you to please come to his event. He's insisting that you should follow him, that he's doing one event in his village, in his country home. And then you're calling me in abroad to fund that trip. I won't fund it. Let that friend, if he thinks you are so critical, he knows you're a retiree, let him pay for you to go for that event. Otherwise, stay in Lagos, in your house, or stay wherever it is you live. I won't fund it. And in such instances, I have stood my ground and told my father, sorry, I won't give you money for this. Let that person fund this trip. I don't see the need. However, I am of the opinion that when people have been good to you, whether it is a community or it is just some family members like we expressed earlier, however it was, and they helped you accomplish a dream. While I don't want to use the word you're indebted, I think one good turn deserves another. You should be considerate enough to say, I am that cow that has no tail, and God drove away flies for me. You should, in return, look for a way. Hopefully, you're intelligent enough and well educated to be able to say, you know what, while I can't carry the burden of everybody, but I can set up something that would not necessarily take my entire blood away, that would help the community or that family. I think it's worth doing that. I do not subscribe that because one person is the alpha and omega in a family, if there's anything like that, then that person should die carrying a burden of treating everybody. I don't subscribe to that. But I agree and I believe that if you are a living light in a family, you can look for a way to help pull others. Actually, the more people you're able to pull out of poverty, it will help reduce the poverty level you're spreading amongst yourself. And how is that possible? If you're well informed, you can call a meeting of your family or a meeting of the group or whatever it is you want to call it and say, listen, I don't want us to spread poverty. I'm one person. If all of you depend on me, this so-called wealth that you see today might diminish and there'll be nothing. But you know what? Can we go into an agreement where if I pop one popcorn, the other popcorn will pop the next popcorn, the other popcorn will pop the next popcorn. And that way we can start rebasing things and avoid a situation where poverty is just glowingly evident amongst us. It works. I will agree to the person, I don't remember who it was, who said it's all about communication. It is the problem is when we are not properly communicating. That said, however we try to put it, there will still be people who will be selfish. There will still be people who will be naive. I'm not ignorant or foolish to think that after we have had this conversation here today, there won't be people who will still do the wrong thing. That is the way society runs. However, I believe we have been able to inform people, those who don't know, on how best to go about trying to do some of these things. At this point, I think we've had an interesting conversation. It's not a do or die affair. Nobody's conversation is going to change the world tomorrow. Not even whatever I think I have said here. People will still do what they think they need to do. With that, I want to thank you for running the show and I say good night to everyone.
Thank you. I just want to say good night to everyone. Thank you to all the panelists that came in. I want to thank Madam Luke, Chim, Honey Babe, Misty, Uncle Ben, Abby, and Mr. Obe, Revolution, John Abba. I don't think I missed anyone, but if I missed calling your name, I'm sorry. I really appreciate everyone's contribution on today's topic. And like I said, next week we're going to have part 2 of this topic, focusing mainly on the African parents here in the diaspora. So hopefully you guys will join us next week. By the end of the day, please learn to take care of yourself first before taking care of any other person. And your mental health is important because you can only give what you have. Thank you. With that being said, have a good night. Mm-hmm.